And we are live.
Yeah, only one time, but yeah, just me and.
Oh, that's right. I remember that now.
Me and Raven's character just keep hitting each other because
Hi all.
Who needs HP?
Who needs HP? Yeah. You do because you're, yeah,
that.
Yeah, you're that.
The dead can't talk.
I want to talk.
Why is everyone traumatizing my characters?
Because it's fun.
Stop it.
I mean, that's one of the jobs of a DM. It literally states that in the handbook.
I mean, to be fair, we traumatized a DM character on Saturday.
Stop traumatizing me.
Oh, you did.
It's true.
Hurt my brain is what you did.
We were.
You go into a campaign with 8 kobolds. That's what you're gonna get.
Look.
You expected us not to be chaotic?
I kid you not. You got when you guys started doing all those antics in that poor guy's house. The theme from Gremlins was playing on loop in my head.
Yeah, all right.
Oh yeah, I mean it was literally like a herd of cats came in.
That's what happens.
See, cats are easier.
Cats don't stand on the table and threaten to fight everybody.
Yeah, don't
or throw random stuff in the food.
Throw people. Yeah, they don't put gumdrops and marshmallows into a venison stew.
For those of you that don't know, that's Goodberry for my kobold. Is gumdrops and tiny marshmallows.
I mean,
that's cute.
And she has a penchant for putting them on all the food. She sees food and goes the Goodberry.
So, welcome back, everyone, to Gnoll Way Out. How's everyone doing this week?
Pretty good.
Excited to see what torture we get to be put through tonight.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see how the dead come back to life.
As am I. There's some possibilities, and I like all of them.
So I was looking through Tasha's while I was making the custom classes for Saturday, and I noticed that Circle of Spores is in here.
Yeah. I saw that and thought of you.
Yeah, they did an update to what they had in the Ravnica book.
Yep.
I'm kind of kicking myself now for buying the Ravnica book on Roll20 when I did. But oh well.
Had no real way of knowing that Spores was going to go into
Look at it this way. The Ravnica book could be fun. If you ever want, you could put everybody in the middle of that world.
I mean, if that's the case, you're all just going to the Rakdos circus and fighting a bunch of magic infused juggalos.
Oh no.
So actually, that's a good note for anyone that is playing a class in any of the campaigns that I run that has been published in Tasha's. You are not using the one that was published in Tasha's. You are using the one that you were basing your class off of when you made the character. Just so suddenly your abilities don't change in the middle of the game. I think that's the same rule that we use for the Tuesday game as well.
Yeah,
if I recall.
Yeah. On the bright side, it doesn't look like a lot changed from Circle of Spores. I think the only thing that changed that I've noticed so far is they got Chill Touch as a bonus 2nd level spell.
Yeah, and it was the same deal for Wildfire Druid, which is what Keo is. There's only one thing that has changed in the class, and it's not a significant change, so that's good. It's not like when Mercer updated Blood Hunter, and it was a completely different class afterwards.
Or introduced the firearm feat.
Yeah,
and, people started losing their minds because the firearm feat came out for Critical Role. And then 2 weeks later, Tasha's comes out with the gunslinger feat.
Yep.
And it's like with that, I made the rule that if you're you're going to use a firearm in my game, and you need to use that feat, we're going to take the Critical Role one because that one is actually balanced and has some thought put behind it instead of just copy pasting crossbow expert and changing crossbow to pistol.
Yeah, that's not fun. That's just.
Yeah,
that's just changing flavor text.
And then it's you ignore the reload time on a gun. It's like, okay, that's fine. It's a single shot pistol, but if you've got something that's got like 5 or 6 shots,
Yeah.
you're just telling me that everyone just now has access to speed loaders.
I mean, where's the rattling with the minigun?
I had miniguns in my game.
They really should have just updated the crossbow expert to include firearms. Because I mean, it's the same feat, but one's for crossbows, one's for firearms. Just make it one feat. Don't make people waste 2 ASIs to get both of those feats if they were playing.
Oh,
a character
that's
that
really
would.
lame. Yeah, if someone wanted to be both, that's
Wait, you're telling me it functions like 3.5 weapon proficiencies?
Pretty much.
More or less.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have any gunslingers in this campaign, as far as I know, so we don't have to worry about that.
The night is young. Somebody may stay dead.
The night is young. Yeah, we
know.
may have somebody making a new character here. We don't know. Before we jump into the recap, though, firstly, I apologize if I'm a little bit off tonight. My voice is being kind of weird and not working all the time. So apologies in advance for that. And second, we do have another dice giveaway to start up today for Dicember. We do have the image prepared here of the set that we are giving away. I've just dropped a link in chat there. That is the set we are going to be giving away today. And when I open up the raffle, all you have to do is type !Dicember in the chat, and that will get you entered into it. The raffle will be open until approximately mid-stream, depending on when we take our breaks and such. And if you are drawn as the winner of that raffle, you have to be present, because you have to tell us what you won. Not the name of the set or anything. You just say, I won dice. That's good enough. It's just so we know that you're present and paying attention. And we will, at that point, get your Discord username from you, and I will pass that along to Zorro, who will handle communication from there. So the raffle is open right now. As mentioned, type !Dicember to enter. So, last session. Oh dear. How did we start off last session? I believe last session we started off with you guys concluding your interactions with the monk.
Yep.
You were all alive?
Yes, you were all more or less alive at that point. I have to find my sand wind. There it is. Okay. So, each of you had your interactions with the strange monk atop the desert dune. He granted some of you abilities that, according to him, were learned from other versions of yourself. Zara was granted knowledge and had one question of hers truthfully answered to the best of his ability. And after you concluded your interactions with him, you descended the dune and settled down for a safe long rest. Upon waking up, when Zara was asleep, she had a dream. Visions were brought to her of the path that lies ahead, strange images that correlate somehow to locations that she saw, laid out the path in front of you that would prove to be the most successful to your journey. And upon waking up, she discovered that she had a new ability to glimpse into possibilities of the future. And you guys set out on your journey from there. It was not an easy journey, though, and you didn't get very far before you came across a nest of basilisks. Though with a very clever combo of spells, you hindered and dispatched them quite easily, I would say. A lot easier than I was expecting. and once again set out on your journey after collecting some meat and trophies from them. And once more, you did not get very far. You were impeded by, God, well, I think it was three death dogs and a strange undead creature. The battle proved to be quite difficult for you, and by the end of it, although you did destroy your foes, one of your allies laid on the ground, the breath leaving their body as life faded from them. And that is where we are going to pick up today.
Wasn't me.
It was absolutely Isa.
Press an X to doubt on that one.
Oh, can we press X to raise?
I can't press X to raise, but I can press X to cast Gentle Repose as a ritual.
Not a bad idea.
And I think that's what Zara is going to do. It was like she had Isa's head in her lap, and she's going to spend some time to cast Gentle Repose, so the body doesn't decay or anything like that, and she can't become undead.
Or she turns into leather in the desert heat.
Yeah, that too. She just dries out. I mean, I don't think anybody wants Isa jerky at the moment.
Well, you never know.
Sounds delicious.
Actually, no, I think the official lore on gnolls is like they're poisonous to eat or something. So yeah, don't have Isa jerky.
Yeah, because their blood is corrupted, so it poisons them.
Yeah. So Zara has knelt down and begun to cast this ritual while holding on to Isa. What are Xena and Xerax doing?
Xena brings over, takes out the 2 diamonds and like pushes it over by Zara and just like keeps pushing it up against Zara, like, do something. You needed these.
Do the thing.
Do the thing.
I would actually like to medicine check everybody and see how they're doing.
Okay.
I mean, we have one person dead. Or one Gnoll dead. I don't want to end up with multiple.
Xena hasn't taken 1 hit.
Ditto.
She's fine.
You know what? With an 8, I believe that.
Yeah.
Meat Shield took all the hits.
Your medicine check, more or less, is just looking to see how matted their fur is with blood. And Xena and Zara, they look good. They look okay.
My blood is not my own.
You yourself are feeling a little bit achy and sore, a little bit shaken, and Isa is dead.
Heal won't fix that. However, Cure Wounds on myself will.
Xena will just sit next to Zara, like cross-legged and quiet for once in their entire time together. She's just quiet and just sits with her head down, right up next to Zara.
And Zara's not really saying a word. She's got a bit of a fearful, panicked look on her face as she's casting the ritual.
And Xena doesn't know what's going on, so she's just kind of hopefully just sitting with solidarity.
Possibly the first time that you've seen real emotion on Zara's face.
Do I know what she's casting? That's a better question.
Give me an Arcana or Nature.
Arcana or Nature.
Because Druid magic is nature magic. I don't care what you say, Wizards of the Coast. It is not divine magic. I will fight you in the streets.
No, it is
totally agree.
Nature magic.
Totally agree.
We'll fight you in the streets.
I didn't know anyone tried to call it divine magic, but I'm with you.
Well, as per quote unquote D&D lore, there's divine magic, there's arcane magic,
and then there's
no
magic, which
there's
is
no
nature
magic.
No,
but
druid magic is nature magic.
Yeah.
And I will hear differently.
Yeah, it's like I'm sorry, I can talk to plants. I think that's nature. I don't think a god's just like, yeah, go ahead and talk to that sapling over there.
Yeah, because if it was god magic, it would be like a deity of nature, not nature itself.
14 is the answer to your real question, though.
Did you roll Arcana or Nature? Which
Nature,
one?
the proper,
Nature?
the
Okay.
proper roll.
You watch for a few moments as she's casting this ritual, and you are feeling pretty confident that you know what this ritual is going to do. You've probably seen a few of the druids and the shamans back in the settlement do this when bodies were brought back into camp. It is a way of preserving them.
Okay.
So if everyone is watching and waiting for Zara, the remainder of the ritual time passes by and your gentle repose takes effect.
Okay. After that happens, she's still like holding on to Iza's, like the side of Iza's face. You two guard me. I do not have the power myself to bring her back, but I know where to look for answers. And
all right.
at that point, she's just going to close her eyes for a moment, and I'm going to use the avatar ability that I got from the bird monk and start looking into the future.
Okay.
Seeing what paths for this moment have been taken previously.
Okay. So you settle down and begin to calm yourself and close your eyes and try to reach out into what could be. And Xena and Xerax, as Zara's doing this, you see a faint light begin to emerge from her forehead, and it is in the shape of that third eye tattoo that the monk had, and it begins to shine quite brightly with a pale yellow light. And Zara, you see a bird's eye view of your group as it is right now. The three of you there crouched down around Iza, and an image of your group stands up with Iza among them and continues walking forward, while simultaneously another image stands up with Iza, who appears to have some sort of fungus growing on her right arm, and that group moves forward. And another one with Iza, but with a fiery red light in her eyes, stands up and moves forward. And finally, an image of just you, Xena, and Xerax standing up, leaving Iza's body behind, moving forward. Getting the sense that there are a few different options here for leaving this scene with Iza in your group.
So after
as you come out of this trance, the light fades from your forehead, but the mark is almost bleached into the fur. And Xena and Xerax can see now in almost pale yellow, whitish fur where the mark was. Now the mark has stayed and is quite permanent. But you open your eyes, Zara, and look around to see that you are back where you were when you first settled down to meditate.
There is a possibility. Multiple, if that's for her to come back.
What do we need to do? We'll do whatever is necessary.
Don't say those words. That will invite danger.
Well, I welcome danger then if it means bringing my friend back.
This is not the danger you want to deal with.
I think
I suggest you let me be the judge of that.
I don't think you want to trade your soul for that, Avises.
Well, who was talking about soul trading? I thought we were talking about danger, like, something to
No.
fight.
Never mutter the words, "I will do whatever is necessary." That invites danger and only sorrow and misery.
There are creatures that will grant that exact wish for a price upon your life.
Or soul.
Is
Or-
it the only way?
I hope not. I do hope
It
there
is
are
not.
other options.
That's...
Well, let's try the other options first then.
And I begin to go into detail about what I saw with her walking with us as normal, and then the one where she's walking away with us with like a bit of fungus on her arm, and where she's got like a fiery light inside of her, and the one where we just seem to leave Xena and Isa behind.
Can I insight the fiery light option?
Sure.
Xena doesn't know what to make of any of it.
Insight's a wisdom skill.
Isn't that
17.
great?
17?
You can tell most of us don't play wisdom characters.
It's like, that's a wisdom stat? Love it.
I actually do all the time, just not this one.
Give me a history roll as well.
Yeah, that's int. That's not so great. That's a... five.
A 17 and a 5. Okay. Something about the fiery red light seems familiar. Like you've maybe heard about something like this before, or there's some sort of connection there, but trying to recall those memories of where that familiarity comes from, you fall short and you don't quite put it together.
Yeah.
Now, it was getting to be evening hours by the time this happened, right?
Nope. It was middle of the day.
Middle
this
of the day.
happened on your second travel roll.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we probably have another 4 hours before we can...
Yep.
Well,
I mean, you can
Yeah.
bed down right here if you want. You don't have to travel for the full 8 hours every day.
yeah, I was... Zara's going to suggest you two build a camp. Can't travel with her today. I will continue to think on the issue, see how I can get her back to us.
Whatever we need to do.
long Does the spell you use
10
work
days.
for? 10 days.
She's secure for 10 days. She cannot be taken from us. Body will not rot or decay. She cannot be turned into undead.
How many days would it be roughly back to Dagger Tree?
Back to Dagger Tree. Let's see.
Rites cast, Dagger Tree.
Yeah, somebody will get the name right eventually, myself included. So it will be... I can math. Hold on. There we go. About 5 days
Okay.
at a normal pace.
Okay.
What about if we're carrying a corpse with us?
The corpse on a sled at Xena speed would be probably about the same.
Yeah, I think it would be regular pace. You have someone in your group that is quite capable of strengthy endeavors. So,
Well, let's chalk up returning home as the last-ditch effort.
If not going back to the cast, where are we going?
Hopefully we won't have to go anywhere. Hopefully I'll have an answer by day.
Really?
It's a big
Xena,
hope.
would you
Okay.
be willing to give me a hand setting up the camp while Zara tends to the body?
Of course.
That's what I
I'll
wanted to hear.
start taking out some of the bones I've used in the past for tent making.
And I would like to use survival to properly set up camp.
And I'll look around for some, branches and things like that, anything, whatever is nearby to help reinforce it.
Okay. So you guys can give me survival rolls separately, or one of you with advantage.
Do you want advantage?
Sure.
Okay, I'll help.
I've got a reasonable skill in it, right? Dice, you're like this close to fire today. 14.
14. That's enough. As the two of you begin work on camp, you find it to be a welcome distraction, focusing on this. A lot has happened in the last few hours. There's a lot on your minds, a lot on your shoulders, and this is but a brief reprieve from that. And you set up a pretty decent camp.
I'm gonna also go back over to the battle scene and see if I can collect any additional bones enough to make some sort of sentinel for us.
Yeah, I mean, there is the bodies of 3 two-headed dogs, and then the body of a undead creature. Those could be brought back as zombies, which could be sentinels, or you could perhaps strip the flesh from the undead creature to use the bones to bring it back as a skeleton.
As you begin to walk off to do that, I let you know I do not have this spell to create a skelly tonight.
It's okay. I'll just, collecting more parts for maybe another night.
Keep them away from the camp for now. Last thing we need is anything smelling them rotting.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna clean the bones. I'll figure it out. I'm gonna look around for do I see any carrion beetles or anything like that that might help me strip the bones quickly?
Give me a nature roll.
So I'm super, super great at that. Because
It's a really low DC.
I always hated how nature is an intelligence roll. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but I usually try and factor that in when I'm having people make nature rolls. Like, if it's something you're rolling for that has to do with literally the area that you've lived in your whole life, it's gonna be a super low DC, easy roll to make. Because it just makes sense. It shouldn't rely just on the stat.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty bad roll. It's a 7.
A 7? The DC was 5.
Okay.
I mean, it's the desert. You've literally been in the desert your whole life. You are pretty confident that if you dig deep enough into the sand, you'll be able to find some insects or grubs that would assist you in stripping the bones.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. I dig, and then I, in dog fashion, dig, 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 bury the bones, bury the bones.
Yep.
I'll mark the spot so I can go back to it in the morning. And I did it away from camp, a good decent amount away from camp. And I went ahead and took the other bones, the other bodies, and dug holes for them too, just so they don't attract any predators during the night. Doing the same thing, carrying them a little further away from camp. Since that was mentioned, she's now worried about that. Oh, yeah, we probably don't need that tonight.
All right, so what's everyone else doing?
I'm going to try to reflect on those visions to see if I can get any sort of meaning from them.
Okay. Give me 3 insight rolls.
3 insights. What is my insight? No, it's not bad. Okay, so that is an 8, a 22, and a 9.
Okay. So the image of Isa with fungi on her, you're pretty confident that you understand at least what this relates to, given your profession and lineage, and that
Thank you.
perhaps there is a possibility that a certain demon lord could assist you with bringing your friend back. How you achieve that, you aren't quite sure, but the vision has presented it as a possibility.
Have I ever been in contact with said demon lord before?
You have not.
I have not.
However, you have heard that shamans and Flynns of the Gnolls are capable of reaching out to extraplanar sources for assistance. You haven't witnessed it yourself, but you've heard talk of it being possible. And the other possibilities that you witnessed, you feel much like Xerax, you feel some sort of familiarity with the fiery red glow image that you saw, but you can't quite put it together. You don't quite know what the source is or how it connects to you guys in any way. And that's about all you can glean from those images with those rolls.
Of course, that's the only one that I would recognize.
Well, as long as it doesn't involve like forcing a phoenix spirit into her body, we're fine.
I think that would be more preferable. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. Why don't you ask Keo just how preferable it is to have a spirit forced into you?
That's fine. It's all fine.
Meanwhile, at another part of the desert that's currently being glassed. All right. I think once everybody's back in camp, Zara is going to look over to both Xena and Xerix. Do either of you have knowledge on how to contact extraplanar beings? Celestials, demonics, anything like that.
What would I roll off for that?
You could roll Arcana or Religion.
Both are the same. Okay. I don't have proficiency in it, so would I not roll?
You can roll. It'll just impact the DC.
Nope. That's a 4.
4. Okay. It's a little bit beyond your wheelhouse, Xena.
Xena scratches her head, and all this dust from her digging in the desert just come out of her fur. Can't say that I do. Sorry.
You could roll as well if you'd like, Xerax.
Sure. That's sorry, which?
Arcana or Religion, your choice.
Okay. Nope, that's a 2.
A 2, okay.
It doesn't matter which skill you pick, it's a 2.
All
I mean,
right.
maybe if we just run around the desert and shout, "Hey, demon! We got a proposition for you!"
Let's
Maybe.
not do that.
I mean, it
Running
sounds
around
plausible.
Calling for demons is the best plan.
Well, he just said, do we have a way of contacting one? I mean, the way I contact things is yell, so...
I'm gonna do all right, so I'm going to lift up. Actually, I'm not gonna move her. I'm gonna sit next to Isa's body and do the only thing that I know how to do when it comes to communicating with anything, when it comes to like a druidic focus, and that's just begin to do very deep meditation. And as Zara gets settled in, she looks over to the other two. I'm trusting to keep the two of us safe.
Are you going somewhere?
I do not know, but whatever happens, do not interfere.
Guard duty. Got it. We got this. Right, Zarx?
Of course.
Do we need to be, just stay vigilant the whole night? Do you need the whole night?
I do not know if this will even work. This is a moment of desperation.
What is it that you're doing? Maybe we should be aware, know what to expect.
Let's just say you'll know when it happens.
That's very... you.
The less you know, the better. But if something does happen, don't get involved.
It's a very, blanketed statement.
It's a very blanketed attempt.
What if, something comes out of your mouth and starts eating you from the inside? Should we, hey, don't do that? Or do you just want to, just let it happen?
If something comes out of me and starts eating me from the inside out, I'm already dead. Put me out of my misery.
All right. Zarix, anything to add?
Suddenly a horde of Myconid attack the group.
Not particularly. I've kind of butchered every roll up to this point, so I assume she knows what she's doing.
Xena's gonna attempt an insight check on Zara to see if she's trying to do something that could potentially make things worse or hurt herself.
Yep, go ahead and give me that insight roll.
You know that picture of the dog holding the science beaker? It says, I have no idea what I'm doing. That's Zara right now.
Okay, I got a 14.
14? Okay. You understand that Zara is desperate. And desperate people make desperate choices. They don't always work out in their favor. Sometimes they do.
You don't really know what you're doing, do you?
Am I that obvious?
A little bit.
I have no idea what I'm doing. It's a shot in the dark, but at the moment, that's all we have.
We could, trek it back to base. Trek it back home. See if the Matriarch has another solution.
Is it wrong? The first thing I thought was it was her saying just to eat.
I don't think.
I wouldn't go to the Matriarch anyway. I would more than likely go to Master Yith. But if that's the case, then I have failed in my duty.
What do you mean failed? What would you have failed?
I have failed you. I have failed my charge. It is my responsibility to keep you alive.
No, it's not. Who deemed you our keeper? We were all set out on this adventure
in that
together.
Sense, I mean all citizens of the cast, all members of our pack. That's a lot of responsibility. I didn't hear them give you some title of great protector of the cast. What do you think the title of Green Mother is? We're in charge of keeping the Oasis and the cast and everybody within it alive.
That sounds more like a royal you, or I think they say it like that, right? Like collectively you're the mushroom people, right? Like your group, your people.
We are not mushroom people.
Sorry. The nature people.
I think the word you're looking for is druids.
Yes, that. Druids. you are not the only druid, and
I'm the only druid
So-
here.
yes, but you were not a 3-headed, 2-headed, whatever, how many headed dog, and did not bite and attack and kill
I'm sorry, what?
Isa. I don't know. My logic is sometimes not there, but look, I don't do good at big brain stuff, but my point is that this is not your fault. It is not your responsibility. It'd be great if you can help, but if the better option to not also risk you is to take her back home, I will run faster than I've ever run to get her there.
I
I'll
understand.
not sleep. I'll just run
but-
through the night.
I'd rather not.
I'm just saying, I don't want to lose you too.
I have to fix my own mistake.
That's still where you're wrong. It's not your mistake. If anything, it's
Just
our mistake.
make
We
sure-
let this happen.
Just make sure nothing hurts me while I'm trying this.
I don't
It's gonna
like
be
it.
enough of a pain anyway.
I don't like it.
Neither do I, but I'm out of options.
You sure you want to try this?
I have not wanted to try this my entire,
Then
but
don't.
I believe this may just be a predecessor for something that's been a long time coming.
Look, I can't tell you what to do.
No, you
But-
can't.
Please just don't think that. Don't blame yourself for this, okay? This is a collective royal we fault. Okay? We all let her down.
Just make sure we're protected while I do this.
That I can do. Do your best and be safe.
And she's gonna nod and she's gonna just settle in and like begin to do whatever she can to reach out to I guess make a call home.
Okay. So, what I need from you is a very, very important percentile roll.
Oh, a very important percentile roll.
Oh
Mhm.
no. Use your best dice.
I'm treating this in a way that's kind of similar to like divine intervention,
Oh no.
Your best dice.
but I'm not telling you what the target number is.
I know. Because knowing the target number would Four.
4.
Wow.
I rolled a
Okay.
double 0 and a 4. So it's either
Wow.
4 or 400, whatever way you want to take it.
Okay.
It's either good or bad.
How much time are you willing to spend attempting to reach out?
She will spend all night if need be.
Okay. So you sit there with Isa for hours. First hour passes by pretty quickly. The second hour, a little slower. The third hour feels like it's dragging on. And by the fourth hour, it feels like you've been sitting there for a day. It's painful to sit here unmoving for so long. And by about halfway through the 5th hour, Xena and Xerax, if you're observing this, you begin to see long, thin mushrooms sprout out from the sand around Zara. And with them, a faint purple cloud of mist rises up as well, with floating spores darting through it.
I back up, but keep watch.
Supposed to be doing that.
It seems all of this is contained to just around Zara's immediate area, so like a couple feet out from her. So you don't feel like it's about to overtake the area or anything, but it's certainly unusual.
Something's happening.
And Zara looks fine.
Zara looks as she has looked for the last 4 hours.
Not any more fungus ridden than usual?
No more than usual.
Okay.
Maybe this is a part of the process?
I hope so. I really do hope so. If not, she might turn into a mushroom.
I don't like that.
If she's not a mushroom already.
Yeah.
She's literally just like 16 mini myconids in a Gnoll suit.
Literally
Zara,
myconids in a fur coat.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily feel a connection to anything or anyone, but if you have a request to make, now might be the time to do it.
And I think all she's gonna it's gonna be very apparent of what she wants, of whatever's like reaching out to her, as she's just going to say, "You cannot have her. Give me my friend back."
Okay. And you sit there with that question, that statement, echoing in your mind. As more time begins to pass, this cloud of spores grows denser and denser around you. And after a couple more hours, it is now well into the night at this point, you hear a voice answer back. A calm, gentle voice, but one that is certainly of authority. And it says to you, "You ask much of me, my child. To take charge of one within another lord's domain is not an easy task. Is this the path that you wish to walk?"
Damn, I don't know what to say. If it means saving her, yes. I believe this is some sort of cruel trick of fate's that would have led me down this path no matter what. Destiny would say.
Voice again rings out in your mind. "I will present her the option, but it is her choice to make. Should she choose my path, you must make sure she walks it. Do you understand?"
She chooses, then I will help guide her.
And suddenly your mind flashes with a bright lavender light, and you open your eyes, and for a brief moment you see that spore cloud around you before it quickly dissipates, and all of the mushrooms around you sink back down into the sand, except for one, which is right in front of you. And you get the sense, you feel the instruction that should Isa choose the path that you have now made available to her, you have to make sure that she eats that mushroom that is in front of you. Now, Isa, You find yourself alone, standing in darkness, emptiness. You see nothing around you, nothing above you, nothing below you. You understand what has happened. You recall with alarming clarity your last moments on the material plane. And now you are going to be presented with your options. And as soon as you come to that thought, 3 doors appear around you. One to your left, one in front of you, and one to your right. The door to your right feels like friendship, kinship, with familiar figures. And as you look over to it, it opens. And as soon as it opens, you are overcome by a feeling of dread. As you look inside and see a pedestal sitting about 40 feet away from the door. And atop that pedestal is a mushroom that is identical to the good mushrooms that your friend Zara presents to you guys each day. But that feeling of dread does not dissipate. You look to the center door, and it opens, and you see on the other side of it endless forests, endless trees, but marching through these trees are large, twisted, demonic figures chasing other twisted demonic figures. That's a difficult word, apparently. And you know that this is the destination that all gnolls eventually reach. This is the Seeping Woods, Yinogu's lair of the abyss. And you look to your left, and the door there opens, and in it you see nothing. It is empty, just like the area you're in now. But there's a sense of familiarity from beyond that door. There's a sense of old history waiting to be discovered, waiting to be brought back into the light on the other side of that door. And you know that the path to the left and the path to the right both lead to the same destination, back with your friends. And the path in the center, ahead of you, is the endless hunt. You will be dead permanently, but you will have the joy of chasing prey for the remainder of time. The choice is yours.
It's a difficult choice. Isa is not unhappy with the manner in which she died. She's just unhappy she no longer gets to protect her friends. Sense of dread from that one. And you said from the black door, it's just a sense of history waiting to come to light.
Yes.
It's the only feeling I'm getting.
There's something there that feels familiar to you. It's like something is in there that belongs to you, that you lost long ago.
Well, she's tempted by the sense of familiarity. She's put a lot of faith over the past few days into her new friend Zara and her mushrooms. And trusts in Zara's wisdom enough that I think she would go for the mushroom. Since it looks familiar.
Does look familiar. And before the door opened, you did get the sense that that door was there because of the actions of your friends. But you did also get that sense of dread when it opened.
Did I get a sense that it was going to cause sacrifice to my friends, either door?
Give me an insight roll. A
Okay,
very important insight roll.
we're going to use a very good die that I was using for the goat. Because they roll better. Insight. Insight's not bad, so that's going to be a 13.
13? Okay.
Not great, not horrible.
You feel as though going through that door will give you life, but not the life that you had.
And do I get the same sense from the dark door?
Give me an insight roll for that one as well.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, okay. You get a similar sense from this one. It will give you life, but it will give you a life that you once lost. Whether that means the life that you had just hours previously or something else, you're not quite sure.
Because she got the sense that Zara put this door in front of her, she's still going to trust Zara and go through that door.
Okay. So you walk through that door and approach the pedestal, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
And there sits the little mushroom. You feel like you know what to do with the mushroom. The things that you do with all the good mushrooms that you've been given so far.
Can she sniff the mushroom? Does it smell the same as the good mushrooms? Does it have a different scent?
Yeah. Give me an investigation at advantage, because I believe you have a keen sense of smell.
Ooh, that is a natural 20 for 20.
Okay. It looks the same, but it doesn't smell the same. It smells almost venomous in a strange way. Not in a way that you're recoiled by it, but more intrigued by it.
In that case, she's going to eat it.
Okay? You pop the mushroom into your mouth and bite down. And as soon as you swallow, all the darkness all at once vanishes. And everybody on the material plane sees Iza's eyes suddenly open as wide as you've ever seen them before, and she takes in a deep, gasping breath as life once again returns to her.
Is my meditation broken at this point?
Yes.
So not even like showing like celebration that she's alive. Zara just quickly hands her the mushroom and says, "Eat this now. Your life depends on it."
Reach up and eat the mushroom.
Is that the one mushroom that was left?
Yep. The one that said as soon as she awakens, she needs to eat it.
Okay. And you eat that mushroom, Isa?
Yep.
Okay. You eat the mushroom. When its effects come into play, I will let you know.
Okay.
Where is she right now? She's still in Zara's lap, or?
Yep.
Do I still have the knowledge that I had when I was looking at the doors?
Yes.
Or look up at Zara and be like, and what did that cost you?
Nothing.
Can I insight check that nothing?
Sure. Zara, you can give me persuasion or deception, whichever is applicable.
Pretty sure I believe her at a 7.
No. I rolled
No?
a 1.
No.
Oh,
Well, how you think she would interpret that, Zara, is up to you. I don't know if Zara truly believes she gave up nothing, or if she feels like she has. She just doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, she feels like she's given up something.
Just gonna mutter bullshit as I sit up.
as you sit up and are clear of Zara's lap, you get glomped by Xena, who just throws herself at you in a big pounce. And a gentle pounce, not enough to hurt her in case she's got like 1 HP, but like just fluffy ball of pounce, golden pounce. And I'm gonna just like nuzzle you and be like, Isa, you're back. How'd you do it? Looks at Zara. How'd you do it? Why do you smell of mushroom?
I think while all this is going on, Zara is just getting up and walking away. Like a bit off out of camp, just to be alone for a moment.
Don't know what Zara did, but I was presented with a choice because of something she did. We'll see
She
what
just got
happens.
there, and then mushrooms grew around her. We didn't really see much.
Mm.
Where were you? Where'd you go? What's it like on the other side?
I don't remember.
Oh. All right, I guess I'll just have to find out myself one day in my own glorious death.
Hopefully not any day
In the
soon.
jaws of the 3rd dragon I've killed, or 5th, or 100th.
Let's aim for 100th.
Aim for 100th.
101, just so we can claim that we knew Xena who killed 100 dragons.
Oh, yes! Yes! I like that thought. Very well. It'll be so. How you feeling? Need something?
Thor.
Yes, you are feeling very, very sore. Coming back from the dead takes its toll.
No pun intended.
So, no, pun very much intended. You have a -4 penalty to all attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks. This will diminish by 1 on every long rest that you take until it's eventually gone.
Feel like I need 4 days worth of sleep.
Well, let's start with 1. Why don't you curl up and get some sleep? I'll keep watch. Xerix, do you need some sleep?
You're
He
muted.
needs a voice is what he needs.
Yeah.
It wouldn't hurt.
Why don't you go ahead and get some rest? I'll look over Zara. Once she is done, get her to get some rest too. And then I'll wake you up for a watch a little later, all right? We might have to sleep into the day a bit to make up for lost time.
Yeah. On that note, if you do choose to take a long rest now, which I mean, you don't have to, but you'd probably all get a point of exhaustion if you didn't. It's late enough into the night that by the end of that long rest and you're ready to start making your trek again, you'll have been in this area for a full 24 hours.
You find my basilisk head?
I think it's over by the battlefield somewhere. I can go back and look for it. Get some rest.
Okay. Just need to get the flesh off of it.
Don't worry about it. Just sleep.
Probably at that she's like mumbling as she lays down, like, I'm just too tired for this shit.
It is very easy to fall asleep right now.
Zena just keeps watch and keeps an eye on Zara, and kind of walks at a perimeter until, you know, a good time has passed to where I should wake Xerix up, and hopefully Zara will go get some rest too.
Okay, so go ahead and give me a skill of your choice roll, and then that percentile for the first watch of the night. It will only take 2 watches before the sun comes up, and you will feel relatively safe enough if you all wanted to sleep.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll survival, just kind of keeping an eye and ear open and listening for the things that I know are dangers and trying to disregard the noises and other things. So, nature.
Okay.
Let's see, let's use this dice. Or rather, survival, that's what I meant. 10 for skill check.
Okay.
And then percentile die?
Yep.
41.
41? Okay. As you're patrolling the camp that you've made, you can't seem to shake a bit of a strange feeling. It's a feeling that you didn't notice at the time, but now that you're thinking about it, kind of set in when Zara began her meditation and that spore cloud appeared. It's almost like a pressure in the air all around you. And it's actually strong enough that it's drowning out the noises of the insects and critters of the desert, or perhaps they're feeling it as well, and they're silenced from it. They're having a difficult time just existing in the area. On the plus side, though, it does seem to keep things at bay. There isn't any creatures approaching the area. The ones that are currently here are not really stirring from their dens and burrows. It's quiet, it's uncomfortable, but it's not dangerous. Your watch comes to an end.
Does Zara go to bed at any point during that time, or are you up too?
I think she would go to bed probably shortly after your watch ended. The entire time she's just standing there staring off onto the horizon. With like the hood pulled up.
Xena goes and wakes up Xerix for the next watch. There's a weird pressure that seems to be bugging everything out here, including us. Hope you're able to get some sleep. It's very uncomfortable. I think it has to do with what Zara did. I don't know, but
it wouldn't surprise me.
Other than that, nothing. So I think Zara looks like she might be heading in, but keep an eye out. And Xena will curl up around Iza.
Okay, so Xerix, I need those watch rolls from you.
Sure. What did we run off of for the last one? Perception?
The last one was survival.
I'll run this one off perception then. All right. Not horrible. 16.
Okay.
And a 37 on the percentile.
Okay. You notice immediately the pressure that Xena was referring to. It's everywhere around you, and it's lingering. Like, you've gone so high up in elevation that it's pressing in on your ears, and it's a little painful in certain spots, mostly around the area where the meditation was performed.
Okay.
But it does seem to keep everything at bay. Nothing wants to approach this area. Nothing wants to have any part of whatever the source of this pressure is. And it's just silent and quiet and uneasy throughout the whole duration of your watch. But you're feeling quite confident that for the remainder of the long rest, there's no chance that anything is going to encroach upon you guys.
Okay.
So if you want to finish your long rest, you can go ahead and go back to sleep. You don't have to wake up anyone for another watch, but you can if you want to.
With the feeling of security, I'm going to allow myself to drift off to sleep.
Okay.
To get the rest of my long rest.
And you do exactly that. All of you awaken about 4 hours later. The sun is relatively high in the sky, and the sense of pressure is gone when you open your eyes. The light of the day seems to have washed it away, and you are confident that your business is concluded in this particular area.
Are the mushrooms that was surrounding Zara earlier, when did they go away, or are they still there?
When Zara's meditation finished, when she opened her eyes again, the spore cloud dissipated and the mushrooms all receded back into the sand, except for the one that she plucked and fed to Iza.
Okay. Xena goes and unburies, like sniffs Iza at first, but doesn't wake her. Just sniffs her to make sure she's okay. And then we'll go and unbury some of the bones that she had buried earlier. And could we say that I noticed the basilisk head and
Yeah, it was
buried
mentioned
that
to
too?
you, so yeah, you
Okay.
could have buried that as well. And the insects underground were not affected by this pressure. It seemed to be an atmospheric thing. So they went about their insect lives throughout the night, and those bones are spotless.
All right. I'll gather them and toss or place the basilisk head near Iza, and
Just throw it at her. Here you go.
No, throw it
Yeah.
at her.
You're not injured.
When Zara gets up, I'm gonna show her the bones I've collected and ask her which ones we need for the future and which ones could be tossed, kind of lighten the load.
When Iza wakes up, she's probably noticing that she is now matted and covered in blood, so she will take a sand bath the best she can. Try to
Okay.
get a little less funky.
Give me a dexterity roll while you're doing that.
6.
6? Okay. As you're rolling around in the sand, cleaning out your fur, you nick yourself accidentally with one of your claws. A little bit of a cut. Doesn't really hurt. But you notice that there's something different about that cut that you just made. As it sprouts with fungus quite quickly, and then they die off and fall from the wound, and the wound is closed up. But you notice that your claws and your bite as well now do poison damage instead of piercing damage and slashing damage.
Okay.
It's not magical damage, it's just a shift in the damage type.
You're slowly turning into a mushroom.
You said this would happen. It's always a possibility. Yeah, Xena just leaves the bones and buys Zara, and then we'll go on her run, try to stick to some normalcy for herself as the others get out.
Okay. And given the time of day and everything that's happened, if you guys choose to set out once again on this day, you can get 4 hours of travel in before night will set in and you'll have to stop again. You do know, all of you, that it's usually not wise to travel at night in the desert unless you have to, because it gets quite cold and a lot of the more nasty predators tend to come out at night.
How big is the basilisk head? Now that's a skull.
I think last session I said it was about the size of a beach ball, so if you let like 20% of the air out of a beach ball, that's the size of the skull.
Okay. So I guess I'll still strap it onto my back, but I'm carrying it around with me.
Okay. Is anyone making breakfast or anything, or are you guys just gonna...
I'm gonna very silently make the good mushrooms and hand them out to everyone.
Xena again grabs it on one of her laps.
Baton pass as Xena runs by.
Or sniff mine before I eat it. See if it smells like normal. Or if
It smells exactly like the one that you smelled on that pedestal.
She'll still eat it because at this point damage is already done, so.
Well, you say that, but...
Yep.
yeah, I mean, it's a good mushroom. It does what good mushroom does.
I was gonna say, oh god, did she corrupt my good berries too? I mean, I wouldn't put it past her.
It was a possibility that certain things of yours would be affected.
Oh god, it's Lexus all over again.
God.
Why do my healers always end up, falling?
Why do you keep making deals when you're playing a healer?
Because deals are fun. It adds drama.
Adds drama.
It's true. I gotta admit, I'm real sad you didn't take the door on the left.
I'm so curious.
I was curious
about
as
what
what
that
that
door
was.
Yeah. I was too.
I'm not gonna tell anyone what it is, in case another one of you dies.
All I could think of is it's reincarnation or something like that.
That's what I kept thinking too, but I wasn't sure.
If it wasn't for the fact that it felt like Zara presented the other door, she would have gone through that other one.
Probably would have been better if you went through that other one, to be honest.
Sorry!
I was so curious.
But she really trusts Zara.
I don't want to pick the door on the left. I just want to go.
So for those that aren't familiar with the references made to all of the stuff that Zara did, Rojan, do you want to explain who you spoke with?
I've got visual aids.
Oh god. Actually, I have to turn the visuals on. Oh, there we go.
World and
Oh, holy crap.
oh, she's
That's her in
pretty.
her
She's a creepy pretty.
beautiful wedding dress. I love that picture.
Uh-huh.
It is a great picture.
That's one of the images. That's one of the background images I have for one of my wallpapers. Yeah.
Very
So
Cthulhu mushroom-esque.
that's Zuckmoy. That's the demon lord of fungus and Zara's mom.
Ooh, dang.
I'm concerned about the words Demon Lord and Mom being used in the same
Yes,
sentence.
well, you
know,
should be quite concerned about the Demon Lord part, because as she said to Zara, she's essentially taken a soul from a different Demon Lord.
Yep.
And that's a big no-no as far as demons go.
I'm sorry, you can't have this one. This is mine.
Yeah.
This one's mine.
I'm not sure how the Demon Lords getting into a dibs war is a good thing.
I mean,
No.
in Zara's defense, most of the Gnolls were already turning their backs on the ways of you anyway, so this is just one step farther.
Not sure I'm comfortable being the subject of said war.
Hey, you ate the mushroom. You accepted it. No takey backsies.
So you have the Lady of Rot and Decay on one side, and you have the Lord of Savagery and Butchery on the other side, and now Iza's right in the middle.
Don't worry. You get bonus points now if you kill Drow, because she hates Loth, because they're in a constant battle for the Underdark. So you kill any Drow, bonus points.
I was just terrified of running into Keo for this character. Now I'm terrified of more.
It'll be fun.
It'll
be fun. So you guys have all had your good mushrooms. Xena, you have done your various laps of the camp. You feel ready, roaring to go. Well, physically anyway. You might emotionally still be a little weary.
Confused,
but,
really. A lot of it is confusion.
So it's up to you guys if you want to set out, and if you do, what direction and who's leading.
It's what time of day is it right now?
It is about halfway through the day, so you've got 2 travel rolls for the day, basically, if you want to continue forward.
Yeah.
Xena also collects any weapons that she dropped. I can't remember. I think I threw some stuff, so...
Yeah, I think some javelins were thrown, and maybe a dagger or 2.
Can the 2 of you lead us along the way? I'll keep an eye on Iza.
Alright. Xerix, you want to go first? Or shall I?
Sure. Let me just find all the dice for this.
Note, I've collected the bones and backed them up. And I whisper to Skelly, soon.
Strictly because athletics is Xena's thing, I would like to use survival to guide us.
Okay.
Dice, you're really pushing your luck today. That's a 10 on the survival and a 24.
10 and 24.
Ooh, ouch.
Ooh, that is
their
ouch.
luck. Okay.
I know exactly what's going to happen, but it seems like the appropriate time to take our first break. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll take our first break. Don't forget, we do have a raffle open right now for a beautiful set of dice. If I have the link here, I can post it in chat. That is the set of dice that we are giving away right now. All you have to do is type !Dicember to get yourself entered into the raffle, and we will probably be drawing that at the end of our next break.
They look like saltwater taffy.
They really do.
Beautiful, beautiful dice.
Be in there.
So bear with us. We will be right back in just a few moments.
And we are back.
Hi.
Welcome back.
I think we're back.
I hope we're back.
We're back.
Indeed.
I see us.
And that's all that matters. So, you guys are traversing the desert, resuming the path that you were on a couple days before, with Xerax leading the group.
With the best roll ever.
With the best roll ever.
See what's gonna happen to us next.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen to you next.
Roll initiative just immediately.
That
Xerax,
sounds about right.
you're walking along, leading the group, when you notice the sand in front of you, about 35 feet away, suddenly raises up in a large mound.
That's not good.
And whatever brought the sand up in that way is quickly revealed as the sand settles and falls off of it. And what you see before you is a quite large metallic creature of some kind. It has
For good.
4 legs and 2 arms that almost look like the pincers of a crab or something. And it has like a long neck that emerges from its fairly small body into the shape of almost like an insectoid figure. But the odd thing about this is that it's all metal. It's all brass and bronze. And you can see the wires and the gears turning and shifting on this creature, this object, this construct. And it kind of reminds you of the broken down wrecks that you've seen Gnolls drag back to the settlement of the Arcastan metal men, they're often called. Creatures made of gears and metal formed together to create the soldiers that they use to fend off the Gnolls and keep them in the desert. But it's almost like somebody took parts and pieces of those constructs and used them to build this entirely new thing that you've never seen before. And as soon as it raises up through the sand, 3 other creatures burst forward, and they almost look like long centipedes in a way, but with like jagged beaks and clawed arms that emerge from their sides and reach forward. And just like this initial creature, they too are made from this brass and bronze with spinning gears and pulleys and wires holding them together. And each of these creatures seem to have lights in the front of them that act as their eyes, and all of them turn to look at the group. And I'm going to need all of you to roll initiative.
Like I said, our cast is ruining everything since ever.
Let's see, taxis. Initiative's kind of like an ability, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Just
Yeah,
it's an ability.
initiative mechanically is a dexterity check.
okay. I just want to make sure I got that right.
Which is why, is it Rogue or Bard where you get advantage on dexterity checks?
Barbarian?
There's one where it actually gives you advantage on initiatives.
Okay.
I'm
Well-
going to roll the dice that we're giving away today, because I happen to own that.
Woo, woo, woo.
I wish I could say it rolled well, but I'm sure the one that you'll win will roll better.
At least for me, the penalty only takes away essentially my bonus to initiative. So I'm sitting at a 0. No negatives.
I mean,
So.
your initiative probably is still better than mine. I rolled so bad.
I mean, I'm the one sitting here with 11 decks, so
True.
Just need Xena to put your initiative on the tracker, and then we're good to go.
Trying to see what my little... I forgot what the little thing is. Oh, it's just based on your dex. That's right. So it would be 0.12. Okay. Ready for this big number, guys? Boom.
I've seen
4.
worse. I've seen worse. Oof, we did not need that 20 on their turn, though.
Yeah. Rolled real well. So, this creature, this large mechanical creature, actually, let's bring up the token for everyone to get a good picture of this thing.
Not what I envisioned when you were explaining it, but
Yeah, I didn't really know how else to explain it. It's like a clockwork mishmash of weird insects, but really big.
I like it. I don't like fighting it.
I know what I was thinking of, and it's totally not the right thing.
What I was envisioning. A little bit, except for not quite as ant-like. I think I'm picturing something more, I guess,
Girthy.
thicker. Yeah, girthy.
Right. So this thing is going to, let's see. It is going to move here and then turn its attention to it is going to get Xena and Iza and Zara as it opens up these plates in the front of its mechanical face. And a little tube comes out. And for just a moment, you see a little flame flicker to life in front of the tube as it lets out a stream of fire. So I'm going to need the three of you that I mentioned to give me a dexterity save.
Oh, that's good. Let's see.
9.
Mine will be an 18.
Okay. And Zara?
I'm muted. 15.
15. Okay. So 2 of you save. The 9, unfortunately, does not save. So a save is half damage, and this will be...
Saving all
Okay.
the good rolls for my attacks, okay?
I rolled low, so that's okay. That is going to be 15 fire damage, half for those that saved.
What was the save?
It was the DC was 14.
It was 15
And
fire.
Yes, 15.
I'd like to use my reaction to shove my shield in between me and the effect and use the shield master evasion.
Okay. Yep, you can absolutely do that.
I take no damage.
Good call. All right, and that is all that creature can do on its turn. So that brings us over to Xerax.
Hey. Step A is going to be that, which is Hunter's Mark. And we are going to Hunter's Mark the big guy.
Big guy, okay.
Which is my bonus action. And I am going to intentionally go behind it to see if I can make it spin. Yeah, that'll do. going to take 2 attacks with a great axe.
The great axe, okay. Make sure to give me the hunter's mark damage separate from the weapon
Hunter's mark
damage.
damage separate because it is force, right?
Yep. Well, I think it's technically just adds to the weapon damage, but I treat hunter's mark damage as magical damage.
Fair enough.
Because it's originating from a spell, so it makes sense.
Okay. Does a 21 hit it?
21 does hit it.
Okay. That, and it's a D6 for Hunter's Mark. Holy hell. So the Great Axe is going to do 17 damage.
Very nice.
And then another 3 from the Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
I don't have improved crit range, do I? I don't.
I don't think you do.
It's always that hope. That is a 27 to hit.
That will hit.
And Hunter's Mark applies on every attack?
I believe so.
Whenever, yes. Okay, however, it took damage, so Colossus Strike lands in there as well. Okay, I don't have that, so that's 6. 11 damage from the Great Axe, and 5 from the Hunter's Mark.
Okay. A good start to this fight. Anything else on your turn?
Yes, I'm actually going to take another 5-foot step in that direction to see if I can force this thing to spin around.
And it is currently looking at you after that damage that you did.
Good. Because it's ugly, and it should look this way.
It kind of is ugly, yeah. Alright, Isa, you're up.
Let's see. I'll run around, so I'm over here next to Xerix. And I'm not going to pull out my longsword. I'm actually just going to make a straight claw attack against it for my first attack.
Okay.
Not beating it to death with the shield. Okay.
Not yet.
Oh dear.
Plus 4, so that's 16 to hit.
16 will not hit, unfortunately.
Okay.
It manages to see your attack at the last moment and shift its limbs out of the way as you miss.
We'll just bring the claws back up and try to rake up it for the second attack. That's a lot better. 22.
A 22 will hit.
Okay, and that's a attack, saves, and abilities, not damage. It's a total of 8 poison. I rolled low.
8 poison as your claws scratch along the brass armor of this creature. They leave a bit of a green hue behind them, but you get the feeling that your poison damage does not inflict this particular creature with any sort of harm.
Figured it wouldn't, but she became curious. And then for a bonus action, then we're going to shield bash.
Okay.
That's also a 22.
That'll hit.
And it's a medium shield, so that's a d8. Really? Really? 5 points bludgeoning.
Okay. Does he get pushed back from that, or am I thinking of that other
Nope,
ability?
you think of that other ability.
Okay. All right. Xerix, you noticed, since you're right there, you noticed the green trail that Isa's claws left. That's not normal.
Nature?
Sure.
That's 19.
It has a unique scent to it that trail that's being left. A scent that you've smelled in potions and rotten food and poisonous creatures that means do not consume or death will happen.
Interesting. Okay.
That brings us over to these little creatures here. They do not have enough movement. So this one up here at the top is going to burrow down into the sand and disappear from view. This one in the center is going to crawl its way across the desert sand right up to you, Xerax. And it is going to let's go ahead and do that. It is going to pierce the ground with its two claw-like arms, and you hear a clicking and whirring coming from inside of this creature as a blue light begins to emanate from between its plates, and arcs of electricity shoot down its arms into the sand and burst out in 15 feet around it. So I need Iza and Xerax to give me dexterity saves.
It's an 11.
Kiddo.
11 will fail. So you are both going to take... Ooh, rolled decent on that one. 16 points of lightning damage. The third one down here is going to move, let's see. I can only get to there. And then it is going to do the same thing. You hear the whirring and clicking as it drives its arms into the ground. And arcs of electricity shoot out. Dexterity save from the two of you again.
15.
Worse.
Oh, well, a 15 saves. Worse, I believe, will not save. And that is going to be 14 points of lightning damage, or half for the success.
Sorry, how much?
14.
14. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
And that brings us over to Zara.
Alrighty, so Zara's gonna... I take it these are just stones, they're not really like a foundation or anything?
Yeah, it looks to be remnants of some building that was probably here hundreds of years ago, but has since fallen and been taken over by the desert once again.
Alright, so Zara's gonna head down south just to spread herself out, seeing as how the big one kind of hit us with a cone attack of fire. And then she's gonna do call lightning centered there.
Okay.
So both the big guy and the top little guy are gonna need dex saves.
Dexterity saves. Okay, that guy has a big guy rolls an 8. Little guy rolls a 9.
All right, so both of them are going to take the full brunt. It's going to be 15 points of lightning damage.
15, very nice. That's some hefty damage on that big guy already.
And then I'm going to bonus action cast Shillelagh on my quarterstaff.
Always a good choice. And you notice that the little guy that you managed to strike with that lightning, you hear the telltale sound of tensioned metal breaking free from that tension, that loud kind of twang noise as some bolts fly out from it and little arcs of electricity jump across its body. A spring shoots out from underneath. It's looking rough.
Did I overload its capacitors?
You kind of did. even though they have lightning attacks, not immune or resistant to lightning. Okay, that will bring us over to Xena.
Alrighty. Xena would like to rage since she got hit and they're being attacked, and she thinks that these things might have stolen their stuff, so she's gonna shout out, "Give me my stuff back!" and grab her battle axe and go into a rage. So let's see what happens.
Oh no.
I forgot about this.
So that would be a 7. It's not the best one. Flowers and vines temporarily grow around you until your rage ends. The ground within 15 feet of you is difficult terrain for your enemies. So it's like the lamest one I have.
Does that travel with you?
It
Like
does.
It does? Okay.
That's not so lame. Especially when you have a druid around.
It's really pretty.
It's
What do
very
the flowers
beautiful.
look like?
Yeah.
I mean, they're your flowers. You tell us what they look like.
They are, of course, golden. So there's like marigolds and daffodils and sunflowers. It's just like an array of every kind of golden yellow flower that pops up around her.
Beautiful.
And she's gonna run over, see, away from the call lightning. So probably like right there. Yeah, in that area is all the flowers. And it says difficult terrain for your enemies. It does use the term enemies, so I think it's fine for, it's just nice little flowers for my allies. And I'm gonna whack.
Okay, whack away.
Okay. First hit is natural 16 plus 8.
That will hit.
Okay. Pretty good. And let me see the damage. Oh, sucky. Lowest damage I could possibly do, because it's going to be that kind of evening, I guess. Gotta roll the 1 on the d12. So that'll be a total of 6, 7, 8 points of slashing for my first hit.
Every little bit helps.
Yep. And second hit, gonna swing. $22 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay, 14 points of slashing damage with the second one. So she slashes, and she's not really feeling into dancing today. It's been a rough day and a rough night. So she's just gonna, like, as she was running over, she grabs one of the flowers around her and puts it in her mouth, just for a little bit of flair, because it's still Xena, you know.
Nice.
But she just swipes and just graceful movements, but no spins this time. She's being, you know, a bit more reserved today for Xena.
And even without you trying, it's gorgeous. You're essentially dancing in a field of flowers. The petals are all kind of being thrown up in the air around you as you're moving. It's wonderful.
And that'll be it. Pass priority.
Okay. That brings us back around to the big guy, who you guys have done a significant amount of damage to already. And let's see. Ah, damn you, Zara. Just out of reach. Okay. It is going, well, it has 3 targets. Let's see which one it's going to go for. It is going to go for you, Xerax. Its long, pincered hands extend out from its side and make a slam attack against you.
Since we're at the top of the order, do I have a reaction back?
Yes, you had your turn and you got your reactions back on your turn.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use protection then to impose disadvantage.
Good call, but I think a 24 does still hit you, Xerax.
You muted.
It does.
Okay.
I tried.
That is going to be 12 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And then the upper half of its body swings around in a wide arc to turn its attention to you, Isa. And it's going to make a bite attack at you as its pincers start clicking and clacking as its head extends towards you.
Very well.
Does a 16 hit?
Nope.
Does not. Okay. That is a swing and a miss. And let's see if it gets its flamethrower back. It does not. Okay. That is the end of Big Guy's turn. And that brings us back to you, Xerix.
Okay, I'm going to burn a potion of healing that I've got. Just to give myself something back. Wow. Absolute max.
Nice.
10 back on that. Okay. Oh my god, it's actually going to happen. I'm going to apply Planar Warrior to it. So now I get to roll all the things. Finally.
Now you just got a hit.
Does a 23 hit?
It sure does.
23. So, do you want the magic damage separate from the other?
Yes.
Okay. So the great axe is going to do 12, 17, and then
Okay.
another 3 magic damage on that.
Good damage.
And the second swing, 25 hit.
25 absolutely hits.
Okay, so I get that one, and one of these. Okay, and that is 14 physical, 3 magic.
Okay. Very, very good damage. You land that blow and you hear a loud thunk from this thing. And then a second later, there's this high-pitched whistle coming from it. And you look at where your weapon hit it, and you see you managed to land right on a pipe of some kind and creased it so that whatever was flowing through that pipe is no longer flowing through that pipe. And jets of steam start to shoot out from this thing. It is in bad, bad shape.
Good. Okay, I'm happy with this.
Okay. Any movement or anything on your turn?
There is no good option that doesn't get me slapped by something.
That's true. So that will bring us around then to Isa.
I have enough hit points to willingly take that much abuse today.
How is Xerix looking? Is he looking pretty bad? Where is he?
I mean, he's not looking great. His fur is matted with a not insignificant amount of blood, all of which is his.
More to the fact I look like I stuck my paw into a light socket.
That too.
Given her recent death experience, I can't even say near death, death experience, she'll go ahead and she'll use the healing salve for her action on Xerix. So that's going to take that last healing salve, but it is 5d6. We roll these. Ooh, I actually rolled really well. 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 3 is 13, 16, 19 plus additional 3 is 21 healing.
Wow.
Very nice.
Well, 5d6, that's decent.
That was the last of the fancy ones, right?
Yep, that was the
I'm
last of
substantially less dead now.
all the healing that I have, so that's everything. But then I'm going to take my bonus action to shield bash this giant monster in front of me.
Okay.
I think you can only do that if you take the attack action.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an exclusive.
Oh, yes, no, you are right. I apologize. So I'm not going to do anything with my bonus action. I don't have
All right.
anything.
I gotta ask.
Oh,
Any
yeah.
movement?
yeah, more shift to here.
Okay. That gives the little ones their go. So Let's see, can this guy make it? Oh, wonderful, he can. So the one that burrowed into the sand is going to pop up right behind Zara. And it is going to try to bite her. I don't think that's going to hit, though. That's only an 11.
I know, that's not going to hit.
So you hear it coming out of the sand behind you, and it's not very tall. It's like a long mechanical worm type creature, so you just kind of lift your leg out of the way as it lunges. You do see little arcs of electricity across its pointed beak mouth thing, though, so it had the potential to hurt, but it's a swing and a miss. And second one here, which is going to be the one right next to Isa, I think is going to go ahead and try to attack Isa. Does a 17 hit?
No.
Does not. Okay, that's a swing and a miss from that one as well. And then number 3. What are the intelligence of these things? Oh, real bad. Okay, it's going to try and attack Xerax. 8 doesn't hit you. Why are my creatures so dumb?
Why do you think dumb creatures?
Really all they can do. Yeah. That brings us over to you, Zara.
Once again, Zara's growling to herself because an ally moved in range of the call lightning spell to, you know, tap 2 things. So I'm gonna center it here this time.
I mean, yeah.
I'm gonna say, can't you move that?
I can, but I was trying to hit the big guy and the little guy at the same time.
Oh, the big guy probably won't last.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
so
woes of a spellcaster in a martial party.
Right. Just be happy I don't have fireball.
Okay.
Yeah, just
And that's
cast
a
it. Yeah, it's a
dex
dex
save, right?
Yes.
Okay, the top one rolled a 15, the bottom one rolled a 4.
All right, so the top one's gonna save, so he's only gonna take half. So it's a total of 13. Like
13, okay. And the bottom one, when it takes that damage, just like you saw in the top one, it begins to overcharge and almost like implode on itself as it's kind of vibrating violently. The top one absolutely does implode on itself as you overcharge the last of its capacitors, and its gears begin to spin far faster than they were meant to, and it just tears itself apart.
and then as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Healing Word at 2nd level on Isa.
Okay.
So Isa's gonna get 9 HP.
Awesome.
And I'm not gonna move since one of the mousers from Ninja Turtles is behind me.
They are mechanical sand eels, thank you.
The icon
Yeah.
makes them look like desert versions of mousers. Yeah, that doesn't help. That looks like it looks like a mouser.
What you can't see is the rest of their body, which is like a centipede type body, but it has like spiked wheels instead of legs.
Thank you.
Leave it to Arcastus.
Arcastus ruining everything since ever.
Arcastus, making everything a robot because yes.
Maybe that war wasn't such a bad idea after all.
No one ever claimed it was a bad idea.
That's true.
Yeah, Zael just wanted to push for peace.
Okay, so Xena.
Xena with the flower petals flowing around her, very like anime-esque moment here with the flower petals and all the things. The flower in her mouth is going to use her axe and whack him. And
All
this
right.
time reckless. Okay. 15.
15 will not hit, unfortunately.
I rolled real low on both of them. Bad. Okay, second hit. Let's do better.
Just need to get one good hit in.
Okay, that one will work. 22 again.
22 will hit.
Do this one. 5, 10, 12 points slashing.
12 points of slashing, which does get halved, but that 6 is the exact number you needed. The electricity within this creature starts to build up, and you can hear the hum increasing in pitch. And like the little creature that just imploded on itself, you see this thing's gears and pulleys start to move at speeds that they weren't intended for, and the upper half of its torso begins to spin around like it did when it was looking for a target, but it doesn't stop this time. It just keeps spinning faster and faster and faster until the pieces of this creature just detach and it flies into bits. And the capacitor in the center of it continues to charge until it cannot hold that charge anymore and explodes. And I do need everybody around it, within 10 feet of it, to make a dexterity save. That includes that little one that's there too.
9.
9, okay.
20.
20.
9.
9. Okay, the 9s will fail. The 20 will succeed, and the little thing rolled a 21. So those that succeeded will take half damage. This will be... Ooh, good roll.
I like that.
This will be 19 fire damage.
Owie.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm raging.
No.
Does that help? Let me see.
Halved
No, on
to
fire.
14.
9.
No, not with fire.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, 19 cut in half.
It's a
rounded
good thing
down.
you're not asking me to math full time. I can't do it.
And, that will actually kill that little one too, even though it saved.
Oh, please don't
and then
explode.
since I killed a thing, can I do the Gnoll thing and run over and bite?
Sure can.
Ow! Ow! What was it that I rolled for that? I didn't put that on my character sheet, so I'm not sure.
It's an attack.
Yeah, it's a attack roll using your dex or your strength, your choice. You are
Okay.
proficient in it.
Okay.
And I believe the bite was a
D6.
d6.
Okay. 22 again. Apparently
Will
that's
hit.
my number. Okay, and a 1d6? 2d6?
1d6.
1d6 plus the modifier of whatever ability you used.
Okay, I used strength. So, and I rolled a 6 on the die, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14
13,
points.
14. Very nice damage for a bite.
She has a strong bite.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
the
your
flower
teeth
is
are
still there too. She hasn't bothered to get rid of it, so it's just a bite with the flower.
perfect.
Beautiful
All right.
carnage. That's all she's about. Beautiful
Yeah.
carnage.
And beautiful carnage it was. Big boy is dead. Xerax, you're up, and you have no threats around you at the moment.
Lovely. Now I'm a threat. I'm gonna use my
Now,
bonus action.
moving through that aura, remember, is difficult terrain. No, wait,
Not
it was
my
only
allies.
enemies.
Enemies
Never
only,
mind.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to shift my hunter's mark to this target.
Okay.
And we are going to. It's wounded, isn't it?
It sure is.
Very wounded.
Good.
You asked that as you look and notice Xena's mouth just like chomping into the metal.
Tearing one of the brass plates off of it.
A 10 is probably not going to hit.
10 will not hit, I'm afraid.
And second attack, that's better. 21.
Yes, it will.
Okay. I don't get the planar warrior, but I get all the other things. D8, you cannot sit on top of the D6, please.
I wanna.
They don't have damage on those two things. So 1 magic damage.
Okay.
And 13 from the great axe itself.
This thing is looking rough, starting to fall apart. Its plates are being torn off. Its gears are winding up. See a couple nuts and bolts fall to the sand. Anything else on your turn?
No.
Okay, Isa, you're up.
Can't quite make it to it because all my allies are in the squares that I can make it to. So I'm gonna go here.
I feel your pain.
I'm going to yank out my daggers. I will throw the dagger that's not damaged first.
Okay.
That's an 18 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay. So D4. 4 plus 4 is 7 piercing.
7 piercing, okay.
And dagger number 2 is the damaged one. With a 21 to hit.
That'll hit.
And this one's 6 piercing.
6 piercing, okay. This thing is flailing around where it stands on the ground, and you wait and time your dagger throw until you can see one of its exposed gears, and you strike home, and that dagger jams in right where the teeth of the gear connect with the teeth of another, and all movement in those gears stops abruptly, and it causes this creature to, in a very painful looking jerking motion, kind of bend upwards and in on itself. The metal cracks and snaps, and this creature falls to bits, lifeless.
I'm still going to take my second win bonus action. Because I
That's
need some healing.
TT2KB, thank you for that raid.
That is a 10.
Yeah.
That is a
There's
10 on the
Pokemon.
die. For a total of 15.
We
Nice.
just gloriously finished off our foes.
You sure did.
Xena will shout in its face, the one that just fell. Where is our stuff?
Xena, I don't think this is the thing that stole our stuff.
Does it have metal bits?
I don't think the other ones were metal.
They were. They weren't.
I thought they were stone.
No, they were like mechanical.
Mm. I still think they're stone. I don't know.
Pretty sure I remember them being like mechanical.
How is everybody looking hit point wise?
There was wires.
Or hurt
I'm
wise?
I'm
decent.
really bad. I hurt. Ow.
Alright, I'm gonna drop a second level cure wounds on Xena here.
Yeah, I'm
Very much appreciated.
asking the same question. How do people look?
I'm decent.
I am like
You are gonna regain 20 HP.
much better now.
My medicine check wasn't great. It was an 11. But I'm also asking, it's like,
I'm above 60%. I'm okay if we
no.
don't run into anything.
We just finished bringing you back from the dead.
If we don't run into anything,
Load
I'm
her
okay.
up.
Okay, second level cure.
Xena starts searching through the mechanical bits, looking for her mess kit, convinced that these are still related to the same things that took her stuff.
Isa's going to get 15 back.
Xena, give me a perception check with
That's
advantage.
3 shy of full, so I think I'm good.
First level on myself.
Okay, my perception is a -1, but I rolled an 18, so 17.
17? Okay. As you're kind of rummaging around and getting a closer look at these things, you notice a distinct lack of scent. Very much like you noticed in the things that stole your stuff.
Okay, I am convinced these things are like the things that stole our stuff. They have this same lack of scent.
Give me a history roll as well.
While she's doing that, I do want
Advantage or without?
Without.
I do want to try and locate anything that looks like it could possibly be used as shield parts if I were to find a proper blacksmith.
That
Yeah,
roaming
nope.
blacksmith again.
I know.
I mean, there's probably metal plating.
I'm hoping for.
3. Ooh, okay.
Maybe other people, since I've been shouting everything out loud. Does that trigger anything for
Yeah.
anyone?
What, Xerix, what is your passive history? So just 10 plus your history mod.
10.
Well, look at that. You made the DC of 10.
It's like the DM knew.
You notice, now that they're not moving and not attacking you, that pieces of these creatures do bear some of the same colors as the machinations from Arcastus, but it looks like they're pieced together from pieces of Arcastan machines, not necessarily built in Arcastus and then sent out as a unit. So something or someone perhaps built them out of the wreckage of machines that they found out here in the desert or nearby.
Dumpstack Charisma, thank you for that raid.
Yeah. Woo. Raid.
Oh, it was a gnome. It's always a gnome.
Mm-hmm.
And Isa, if you want, you can begin to attempt to pry some of the larger brass and bronze plates off of these creatures. You don't happen to have like tinkerer's tools on you or something, do you?
I'm a Gnoll. Fuck no.
Yeah,
I have claws.
So it will be very difficult to get these plates off intact, but you can attempt.
Alright, I'll attempt. Can't hurt. Too
Will
bad.
you just try and like rip them off, or will you try and pry them off with a weapon or tool, or how are you going about it?
She'd probably pull out the daggers. If it looks like the broken one could be possibly used without the tip, she'd try that one. But if it looks like I need the tip to get in there, she'll use the whole one.
You can get the dagger in there. Some of the plates are overlapping with a really tight gap, but other plates are far enough apart that you have no trouble getting a dagger in there to try and get some leverage.
Yeah, I'd do that.
Give me... What kind of roll do we want for this? Give me a dex roll or an athletics roll.
Oh, athletics all the way. Yeah, probably not. That's not.
-3 now, right?
Yeah, it's -3.
Yep.
It's a 9.
9? Okay. You feel like you're making headway with this one particular plate that you're trying to pry off, but you realize that it's not the plate that's bending, it's your dagger that's beginning to bend.
Oh, your poor dagger.
Yeah, that poor dagger. You can pull it out before it breaks. So
I'll pull it out.
It doesn't have a further negative applied to it, but
I'll prioritize the
don't
dagger.
manage to get the plate, unfortunately.
I'm now going to kick the machine and walk away.
It hurts a lot. You just kicked a very large piece of metal.
Zena's gonna go over to Xerix. Hey, you're good at the finding things thing. Could you see where these things came from? Can we track them? They have our stuff, I know it.
Muted.
Can I track mechanical things through sand?
We'll
Short answer
try.
is no. But you can give it a try.
You know what? Nat 20s exist for a reason. My dice.
Gone forever.
No. I wish I was kidding. Nat 20 plus.
Really?
Yes, I can picture this thing right here.
I believe you.
Nat 20 plus survival?
Survival, yeah.
That's a 26.
26, okay. You kind of scoff at the idea of trying to track something with no scent that burrows.
What kind of fool
But
do you
you
take me
figure
for?
you'll humor Xena anyway, just to make sure. So you go over to where you saw them burrow out of the sand, and you're not even really giving it a lot of effort. You're just kind of putting on a show and digging through the sand a little bit. But as you do, one of your claws catches something that puts up a bit of resistance, and you reach in and pull it out, and it's a very thin strand of some sort of metallic wire that looks to have little barbs on it. Xena, I think it was Xena, discovered a wire just like this when she caught that thing that almost stole your stuff.
That was the thing, the wire thing that I told you about.
I'm going to very carefully pull up the wire while following it.
Okay. So you do, and you're gingerly pulling it from the sand, which is easy enough to do. The sand's not putting up a whole bunch of resistance here. And you follow it for about 35 feet before you pull up a broken end. So there's no creature on the end of it, but there was obviously a creature here at one point.
Xena's tail was wagging excitedly the whole time until you came across the broken piece, and then it just kind of
Xena, dig here. Dig here.
glorious! And she'll just start digging furiously.
I have no
Okay.
idea if that's the right answer, but we're going to
Rage
try.
dig. Rage dig.
Give me an investigation.
Wait, I'm just digging. Can you be looking?
This will determine whether or not you come across anything.
I don't want to roll it. I'm not good at that. Which dice has not been screwing me today? You. Okay. 16?
16, okay. You dig and you dig and you dig, and you feel like you've dug deep enough, so you begin to dig outwards and make the hole wider and wider, and just you are determined to find something because you know something was here. You know that these creatures are responsible for taking your stuff, and you don't find a creature. You don't find more wire, but you do find what looks to be the leg of a creature. It's not very big, just like 6 inches in length. It looks like the leg of a spider almost, but made out of brass and bronze, and has a little wire attached to it and pulleys throughout the leg that allow it to bend. So it's a piece of a creature, possibly the creature that left that wire behind as well, perhaps making a speedy getaway.
I hold it up from the hole that I've dug. See? Same creature. But I don't know what to do from here.
Madbird Streams, thank you for that raid.
Woohoo!
Bird.
Oh, the raids.
Zara, give me a history check when you see Xena hold up that leg.
Oh no. That's a 4.
It's an interesting looking leg.
No.
Look, my history's 1.
2 steps forward, 5 steps.
I mean, that's one more than my history.
Oh,
But what is it?
nope. Thought I'd roll a history just in case you would give me the opportunity, but it was a 3, so it was not a
Actually, Zara, you described your visions to everyone, right? That
Mhm.
dream you had, you described that, didn't you?
Yep.
Okay, everybody give me history.
I got a 3, so.
Which dice is not going to betray me?
16.
You rolled off of a 20 for this.
Mhm.
8.
If only you had landed on that 20. I'm afraid not even a 16 is enough. If you had seen the visions firsthand and not heard about them secondhand, it would have been enough, but I'm afraid you just can't put the clues together on this one.
Dang it.
some point while they're digging and everything, I will make my way over to Zara and be like, is it normal when the mushroom people bring people back that there are changes?
Yeah, Zara, is that normal?
No, not really.
Oh.
We need to talk.
No.
At camp tonight. You and I need to have a little bit of a one-on-one as to who and what brought you back.
Thought you brought me back. This looked like your good berry when I ate it.
There's a reason for that. I will explain everything to you tonight.
She'll nod her head and watch Xena. When she normally jumps in to dig with Xena, she's not this time.
Okay. And Xena, Xerix, you hunt around for more clues for a little bit longer, but don't really turn up anything other than what you've already found.
Very dusty, makeup messed up from the heat and the dust. Like Xena looks a mess. She's very grumpy. But flowers are well, the one flower maybe still here. I don't know. It might have
It's a little wilted, but it's still there.
I guess everything just wilted at that point because the rage ended.
Yep.
But she's looks a mess and takes the spider leg and just whacks every enemy angrily out of frustration with the spider leg as she walks over.
Now you definitely look like that white-haired guy.
What did you? If you hadn't already died.
All right. So you guys have one more leg of travel you can do today if you so desire.
Yeah, Xena will huff off in front of the group and do a very huffy, angry march forward leading.
Okay. Assuming everyone else is following, go ahead and give me those rolls, Xena.
All right. I'm gonna do intimidation because she's pissed off and it's just fuming off of her, trying to just intimidate the desert.
Okay.
As one does.
How did I know you were gonna do that?
She's throwing shit. She's just.
I mean, if anyone can do it, Xena can.
Snarling, all that. Let's do.
If I saw an enraged Gnoll stomping through the desert, I wouldn't go anywhere near them.
Depends on how intelligent the critters are.
Okay, so that'll be an 18 for intimidation.
Okay.
And the percentile die is a 40.
18 and 40, okay. Well, the timing is convenient. So while we wait to see what happens, we're going to take our second break of the evening. If you were not here when we mentioned it last, we do currently have a raffle open for a beautiful set of dice. I will post a picture of in the chat right now. All you have to do to enter into the raffle for that is type !Dicember into the chat. And that will enter you in. We will be drawing the winner of that raffle when we come back from this break. And if your name is drawn, you do need to be present and tell us what you won. All you have to say is like dice or something like that. You don't have to say the name of the set. And then we will get your Discord username from you and pass that along to the lovely Zorro, who will be reaching out to you when she's ready to get your shipping information. If you're not a part of our Discord yet, you can find the link right there in chat. So we will be right back in just a few moments.
Okay, we are back.
It doesn't matter if I can see it very well. I can still probably make it out.
Welcome back.
Dice.
Yeah, so as promised,
Dice.
let's go
Dice.
ahead and pick a winner for this dice raffle.
These dice are so pretty. They're now on my list of ones I want.
Close,
Yeah,
but
they're
why
really
do I keep losing all my tabs?
I love them.
Everyone knows I need more dice.
I want the pink version of it too, in the orange.
All right,
It'd be gorgeous.
let's draw a name. Hey, look at that.
Sugar love.
You got to still tell us though what you won, just so we know you're present and paying attention.
What did you win, Sugar love?
Cassie, what did you win?
Come on, say it. Please say it.
I could get up and go yell at her because I know she's watching the stream.
Don't think that was allowed.
What did you win?
Say what it is! Say what it is!
Say what it is!
What kind of goblins are we?
Yes,
No,
you
I
have
mean-
to tell us what you won.
Yeah, you have to say it.
It's a part of the process.
The rules. Them's the rules. You have to say
What is
exactly.
this? What is it?
Dice. There you go.
Dice?
Okay.
There we go. Like that's a question.
Okay.
But
So
our dice.
I think click clack math rocks would also be acceptable.
that would also be acceptable. Yes. I believe I know what your Discord username is already, so you don't have to get that information over to me.
Yep.
But that will conclude our raffle for today. We will be having another December dice giveaway tomorrow. Actually, we have a stream tomorrow, and every other day that we have a stream during the month of December, because it's December. That's just what you do. So if you missed out on this one, you got plenty more chances. And if you missed the announcement on Saturday, is the day that was before yesterday, we do have some beautiful raccoon dice bags
Gorgeous.
that we will be giving away as well.
I got an
Not
image
only-
of those.
They are
Yeah.
huge. They hold like easily 15 sets of dice in them.
They're gorgeous. So if you don't know who Raccoon is, he is like our interdimensional Santa of all of our games, and he always gives away goodies to the players every time a certain donation level is hit for Extra Life. So we'll be giving away, I think, a few more of those during our Christmas mini adventure streams, as well as the opportunity to pick one up yourself by donating, I think it's $75 to our
$75.
Extra Life campaign.
$75 is the raccoon donation.
Yep, which triggers the raccoon giveaway or the raccoon gifts for the players in the game, and also the dice bag to the person that donates that.
It looks so soft. I want to pet one.
It looks amazing.
They are micro suede dice bags.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
So
You're beautiful.
back to the lovely desert game here. Xena, you are angrily stomping your way through the desert towards your destination, and something finds itself right in front of you as you're stomping through the sand, and you almost step on it, but you pull back at the last second as you notice a quite vibrant green and red cacti just poking up out of the sand, a little out of place. You look around and you see one or two others in the area. It looks full of life, quite vibrant, a little unusual given that there's almost no other flora around the area.
Hey, Zara.
Oh,
Nice news.
I mean, what are those?
Yeah. They look different.
Can I do a nature check on this?
Sure.
Now that she's pointing them out, can I go up and sniff one too?
Why does this seem like a bad idea?
It is.
Because we're
How-
gnolls and everything we do is a bad idea.
How are you examining it, Zara? Are you just looking at it, or are you going up to it?
I think I'm gonna look at it from afar to begin with,
Okay.
because the colors are a little off. They're not like the basic, green cacti. So, but that's not gonna be great. Even being a druid with proficiency in nature, that's a 6.
6. Okay. It looks like a regular cacti. I'm sorry.
Have I ever come across this before in my travels?
Looks like a normal cactus. It's red though.
Give me a history roll, Xena, and Isa. Are you going up and giving it a sniff?
Yes, I am.
9.
Okay.
Nope.
9. Okay, Xena, you have not come across these before, and Isa, as you lean down to sniff at it, all of the petals of this cactus kind of fold up onto each other, and it just right down into the sand and disappears from view.
Hey, where'd it go? What'd you do?
We'll walk up to the next one that I see.
Okay.
I run over to one as well, and I'm gonna like touch it with my claw.
Okay. As
You
soon as you
touched it.
touch it, same thing folds up and sinks down into the sand.
I'd like to nature roll.
Yeah, can I make a nature roll to see if this is a good thing, or if typically these are bad things?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I don't
Just shrink
know.
away.
Do that.
That's a 3, so no. I think it's perfectly safe. Let's play with them.
It's enough to know it's a probably bad idea. 9.
9. I mean, it's not attacking you, so it can't be bad, right?
Probably
Xena
wouldn't
starts
run out and eat it though.
Sound logic.
Trying to get.
Okay. Yeah, you can begin digging after it. Isa, what are you doing with the remaining one that has not sunk into the sand, if anything?
She rolled a 3.
Yes.
So, she's probably trying to get close to it slowly. She's like waiting for that moment when it starts to like twitch, and she's not gonna get any closer than that. And then she'd actually, well, let's see. She'd dig.
Okay. Are you digging like right on top of it? It hasn't sunk
No.
into the sand yet.
No, it's not sucking down. I want to dig to the side and kind of angle towards it. So I kind of dig towards it, but I'm going down a little bit, so I'm not like directly. I want to go down so it can't see me.
Like those Arctic foxes that like pounce into the snow. like,
Pretty much.
Okay. So as soon as you start to dig, it, like the other ones, folds up and sinks into the sand. And for a very brief moment, you see the surface of the sand kind of bump up and like trail as though something is underneath digging and moving through it before it fades away.
I'll probably cops. They go, did you see it move?
no, I don't see anything.
Get your nose out of the sand and maybe you would.
What'd you see?
It looked like a bump. It moved. It shrunk down, and I think the cactus moved.
Yes, it's strange that cactuses move. They don't normally move. They go bloop.
They don't? I
No,
thought
I
this
mean,
was,
the
I thought this was totally normal.
very unusual.
Should we follow it? She turns and looks at Zara.
You mean it went somewhere other than down?
It went that way.
Why?
Of course, the direction does not move.
Why would we follow it?
It might taste good. Xena starts sniffing,
Why not?
trying to
Yeah.
track it.
Everything
Perception check at advantage.
that we have done, or anything we've encountered so far in here, aside from that bird monk, has tried to kill us.
Nuh-uh, there's those one thingies that came and drank our water.
The aurochs, yeah, if we tried to eat them, they would have killed us.
17.
You can
That's
find a scent that you believe matches that of the cacti.
I start
It's
following
very, very
Um,
faint.
If I can, and before she starts falling, reach out and grab her by like the scruff.
it. Hey,
Hey,
Hold on to her.
Gil, you're I think your Zoom is acting up again.
Is it? Am I still
Yeah.
loud?
Like, yeah, you're like peaking on the mixer.
Just one stream, Zoom. Cooperate with
Yeah.
us for just one stream.
Yeah, like Zoom's gonna cooperate at all.
Oh, that's because I decided to move my volume back up to full strength. Is that better?
Now
No.
you're low.
low now.
That's
That's
much
really
worse.
quiet.
Yeah.
Okay, how about there?
A little bit more.
A little bit more. Up.
There?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try that.
All right. Xena like tries to bat at you, like, "Hey, I'm losing the scent."
We're trying to hold her back. I don't know if there's a contest you want to do for that.
Cena, leave it alone.
No, I really think it's gonna taste
Look,
good.
I already brought one of you back to life. I don't want to do it again.
It's just a cactus. A cactus can't take me down. Come on.
And I'm not letting go. No, Zara said that.
Are
if I
you
have
going to attempt to pull away, Xena, or allow
Yeah.
yourself to be held back?
Yep. She thinks it's gonna be really tasty, and she hasn't eaten anything but fucking mushrooms in days.
Okay, so this will be a strength contest. So it will be straight strength versus straight strength.
All right. Well, I rolled a nat 1, so she wins.
Okay, mine's a 15, so.
You are held firmly. You could get away if you really wanted to, but it might tear out some of your fur, and you don't want that. Your fur is beautiful and valuable.
And
I'm trying
glorious.
not to fight my friend who's still recovering too.
Exactly. I'm more start dragging her towards the group.
Xena will huff and allow herself to be moved.
And as you're moving, the scent grows weaker and weaker until you lose it.
Sad Gnoll noises.
Are you kind of keeping yourself upright, or are you kind of slumping on me?
I'm just slumping, but I'm following.
So when I reach the group, I'm going to kind of dump her on her butt in front of everyone else.
Oh, you're not carrying me. I'm just letting you kind of like tug.
No, but I'm more kind of like pull you down to your butt
Oh,
as I drop you.
I'll allow it. Although I glare up at you a little bit.
I understand you want to go after it, but given our track record in the desert and Ease's condition, it's best not to tempt fate at the moment.
I just really wanted something else to eat tonight.
We can hunt when we make camp.
You can hunt and make food. I only make the mushrooms just to ensure that we have nourishment throughout the day.
Yeah. But I thought red cactus might be really special, you know? Like a delicacy or something. Like I really could have done something cool with it.
I have
No one else has eaten red cactus I know of.
I don't trust cactus that moves.
Bet it would have been really tasty.
If it was even a cactus.
What else would it be?
Cactus person?
There's cactus people now?
Oh, there's mushroom people.
I am not okay with cactus people.
Sound logic.
Desert
Sounds like
Mike and
we're
Ids, they're
pointy.
just cactus people.
I'm gonna go
It's now
hunt.
canon.
I'll be back.
Are you guys going to stop here, or you have about, say, 45 minutes left in your travel time?
Oh. Do we still
Um,
want to travel or are we stopping?
Let's finish traveling.
Okay.
So by the time you reach the end of that bit of travel, the sun is setting on the horizon, and you feel like it is a good time to make camp and settle down for the evening.
Now I will go hunting.
I'll go hunt with her.
Okay?
And I will set up camp. Maybe a little bit of shelter just in case the desert does desert things on us.
And I will assist with constructing the camp.
I drop off the bones of Skelly and I place his little head on top of the pile and I look pointedly at Zara and I tail wags before I leave.
He's really going to make me choose a spell in the morning so I can animate that blasted skeleton again.
Most likely, yes.
Well, she's going to be sad tonight because I already used Call Lightning and the other one is plant growth.
So,
Well, this-
Zarek, you can go ahead and give me survival with advantage for setting up the camp.
Okay.
Iza and Xena, you can give me survivals separately or one with advantage for hunting.
I will. Do you want to give me advantage since you have negatives right now, or
I mean, even with my negatives, I still have a +1 to survival.
I have a +4
Okay. Yeah, you can do advantage.
or no +2.
Alright.
Was Raven rolling with advantage or am I rolling as well?
I can roll with advantage.
Yeah, it can be Raven or you with advantage, or both of you separately.
Yeah. I think our survivals are pretty much the same.
Well, that'll be a survival of 20.
22.
Good rolls from both parties. Okay.
Since I'm a sister, do we still get the advantages of the
Yes.
Outlander?
Yes. Xerax and Zara, you set up quite a sturdy camp with all of the supplies that you've accumulated and the experience you have gained on your trek so far of setting up a camp with what you find around you. You feel it's quite the easy task to get this one in place and have a bit of a sturdy makeshift shelter for you as well. You get a small campfire going as you see Iza and Xena returning to the camp, dragging behind them a large, dead ostrich.
Ooh, ostrich.
We did good. Glorious. We will feast.
You will feast.
When Xena gets back, she immediately starts prepping a fire to cook it.
I want to pluck it and try and save some of the more decorative feathers from the ostrich. Okay. Anything that looks more stand out.
Sure. You managed to get 6 pristine ostrich feathers.
Sweet.
Why you shake your head? You didn't get this.
Or the monks can.
They're not ostrich people.
Look, they're desert birds, they're ostriches.
It's all your fault, Zoro. All your fault.
It is, yeah.
I think this is her payback for us stealing all of her stuff. All the time.
So you've got a fire going, setting up to make a lovely ostrich meal.
Yep.
Who's doing the cooking?
I would.
Sure.
I think the Iron Chef should be doing the cooking.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lord.
So Xena, you can give me the roll, Xerax, if you're going to assist. Xena can do it with advantage.
I shall give advantage.
What am I rolling?
You are going to roll. I think last time it was performance.
Yeah, she makes a spectacle when she cooks.
Yeah, so you can give me that performance.
And she's basting it with whatever she can find, water, whatever, like from it, and some seasoning. She's mumbling about how red cactus would probably have tasted great with this. Okay. That's 18.
18. Okay. This is possibly the juiciest, most flavorful ostrich that you guys have ever had. Some of you may be the first time you've had ostrich, but it's still the juiciest, most flavorful ostrich you've had. And there's enough meat here and enough bones here that every one of you has a overfull tummy by the end of it. And the next day, you will each have advantage on the first 2 saving throws that you make.
What? For that good at-home cooking. Good
It's amazing.
Cooking.
Is there anything that anyone is doing or working on before you bed down for the night?
Yeah. I think Zara needs to have a heart-to-heart with Iza about what happened.
You're going to give Iza the talk?
The talk about the mushrooms.
Mushrooms in the spores?
So she's going to pull her off to the side just to ensure that, the conversation isn't interrupted.
More take with me one of the bones that I've been picking at.
What do you remember? Coming back to life, I mean, not how you died. That's not important.
She'll go ahead and describe the 3 doors and how each one of them felt, and how she noticed that one of them seemed to be there under Zara's influence. And kind of the notions she got from him with her insight check. She'll explain it all.
So there was a third option.
There was.
It may have been better to take that one. I was able to bring you back to life with aid of the only being I can think of, or was able to think of at the time, from what the vision showed me. There's nothing wrong with you. Don't have to worry about that. It's just... Well, you do know that's how our people were originally created by the demon lord Ynoyu, right? Well, your soul was taken from service to him and placed into the service of another. Namely, my mother. Zutmohe, the demon lord of fungus and decay.
Did you say mother?
Yes.
It doesn't sound good.
Oh, it's not.
What did this cost you?
Well, I get to now instruct you on the ways, her ways of dealing with things. So, from what I can tell, it's not really going to be much of an issue.
That's it.
For now. There will probably be something else waiting for me later on that she didn't mention, given what she is. But I promised her that I would instruct you in our ways and make sure that you follow them.
And what happens if I fail to follow them?
That was not stipulated. Though, again, her being that of a demonic influence, probably nothing good.
Does she normally have followers that turn into poisonous damages? She kind of explains her claws and her teeth, what her claws and her teeth have been doing.
How much do I know, or would I be able to recall anything of that of like her cult followers?
Give me a history roll. It's going to be a really high DC because you haven't really been outside of the Gnoll Society very much, but
yeah,
there's a chance.
I didn't know how much what's his face Yith would have spilled to her. So, what do you want?
History.
Oh, okay, 19.
19? Okay. You know what you can gather from face value. She is a demon lord, formerly residing in the Abyss, now residing within the Underdark. You know that she has always struggled to have followers on the material plane because, I mean, humanoids generally aren't interested in worshipping fungus. But she has been able to hold various followings throughout the world through fake cults, basically. Having people worship something while in actuality they're worshiping her. and a lot of what she does has to do with a lot of what you do: death, decay, rot, fungus, and spreading that fungus throughout the land. Not necessarily to take over the world or something. That never has really seemed to be her goal, but rather she wants to just spread her influence. And using things like spores and fungus is a great way to do it, because they tend to just dominate whatever environment that they're in. And along with that, you often find things like poisons and acids and that sort of thing. And perhaps that's where the poison in Iza's claws and teeth come from, is that influence.
Just gonna look at Iza. It is a possibility.
Don't think that's reassuring.
Well, you haven't died from it, so I would assume that it doesn't harm you. Think of it this way, it's more of a defensive nature for you. Something bites you, they're gonna have a bad time. You bite something, it's gonna have a bad time.
This is true.
Rufus Maximus, thank you for the follow.
She said a falling. Do I have to join some cult now? I don't really want to wear the robes.
You don't need to join some cult, just follow me.
I can do that.
You remember when I was talking about the mind-controlling spores and mushrooms and everything?
Yes.
That's why. Your mind isn't being controlled, by the way.
Sure.
You didn't mention anything about it, and you've seemed to move with free will so far.
So far.
Funny enough, this was my first interaction with my mother. She
Why?
seemed... If your mother was a lord of the abyss, would you want to talk to her?
Probably not. But she didn't want to talk to you?
I have a feeling she didn't even know I existed.
Uh-oh.
If I had to guess, I was just another one of her pawns to spread mushrooms and fungus and spores around. I guess by becoming a druid, I've sort of fulfilled that prophecy, haven't I?
Your fungus doesn't seem to at least harm us so far.
Well, I have no need to harm any of you. If that was the case, I wouldn't have done what I did to bring you back.
So you said we have to follow her teachings. What are these?
I don't know.
Fabulous.
Only thing that I know is she just wants to spread the influence of fungus around.
Not sure how I'm supposed to do that, but we'll see.
I don't know. Bite a couple things and let's see what that does.
I think I can do that.
Just may not be something you want to mention to the other two right now.
Probably not. Though. Start biting and clawing at things and they're going to notice.
If it comes to a point to where we need to explain, I'll give them the rundown. But at the moment, I feel the less they know, the better. For their sakes, anyway. Just don't die again. That's probably a one-way trip.
If I do, no more deals with demon lords.
That's what I mean. I think if you die this time, she's just going to claim you. And there isn't anything I'm going to be able to do to stop her.
That's fine. No more deals with demon lords.
Not something I wanted to do, but
I appreciate the risk you took.
if I didn't do it, someone else probably would have. We were all kind of panicking.
Listen, I'm here with one job, and that's to make sure all of you survive as well. If I go down doing that job, that is fine.
And my job is to keep you alive. Actually, all of you. One of the creeds of being a green mother.
I don't have to be a green mother now, do I?
No, I don't even think you possess the ability to harness the power of nature.
Good.
Unless that's something that's gonna come further along down the line after eating that mushroom, but let's take it one day at a time, shall we?
You know, your good berries don't smell so great anymore.
I don't think any mushrooms are gonna smell so great to you anymore.
She just looks a little sad.
But I'll do what I can to fulfill my end of the bargain. You just keep doing you. So I can tell you, the undead are now a tricky situation.
Why?
Part of her rule is using them.
I have no way to use them.
That's not what I mean. Your outlook may change on them. I was taught they were tools to be used. But then after said task was done, you discard them. You free them. You don't let them wander the desert. You don't curse them to an eternity of existence.
Saying that my desire to hunt down and kill undead are just going to change, or just that
You may feel more sympathetic towards them.
I mean, all the ones we've come across so far, we've mostly managed to put down. So that's fine.
Unless I can do anything else for you, maybe we should get back before we raise too many questions.
All right. She'll get up and she'll wait for Zara to go ahead.
Yep. Zara's gonna head back down into like the main area of the camp.
Right. So while they're having that conversation, is there anything that Xena and Xerax are doing?
You know, cleaning up after the meal.
Yep. I would like to. Ostriches are not small creatures.
No, they're not.
Any of the bones that might prove useful, like some of the larger ones, I would like to clean and add to sort of our carrying pile of materials.
Okay. Give me a survival roll. See what kind of goodies you get.
16 on the die for a total of 22.
22, okay. Yeah, you can get 4 really big, solid bones out of this thing that are easily cleaned by burning away the flesh and fuzz and feathers atop the campfire, as well as 3 of the very large talons that ostriches have.
Ooh.
And by the time you are finished collecting and cleaning those, your other 2 companions make their way back to the camp. And you can bed down now. If there's anything you wanted to do or talk about before that, you are welcome to. Your companions, Iza and Zara, have very serious looks on their faces when they return.
What happened to you two?
You want to check those names again?
It is Iza and Zara that have the serious looks.
Okay, sorry.
What's in the go? Wait, what?
I said
many
it.
Z names.
I said it the way that I would have typed it, which doesn't necessarily come across properly.
Everything okay?
Yes, I was.
She's not turning into a mushroom, is she?
Yeah, we were worried about that.
No, she's not turning into a mushroom. I was just making sure that she was still who she was. Medical examination and everything.
Xena's gonna go over to Iza and give her a good sniff. Does she still smell like Iza, or is it different?
What's your HP right now, Ita?
47 out of 50.
Okay, you can smell a bit of the blood that's left on her from the last battle, and it smells a little bit off. It smells similar to that kind of mushroomy aroma that Zara always has, but distinct. Like, if you smelled both of those aromas next to each other, you'd be able to point out that this one is Iza and this one is Zara.
Okay.
But they do have similarities.
She'll just kind of squint and look back and forth between the two, shrug, and all right. Well, let me know if you need anything. Should we keep the campfire going, or do we want to snuff it out for the night?
Well, we've kept it going before, haven't we?
It should ward off smaller animals for the most part.
All right, keep going.
Ward off possible thieves.
If we have any time left in the night, I'd like to ask Xena for a little bit of her gold paint that she uses on her claws.
You need my gold paint.
She's gonna hold up the feathers that she collected. She goes, paint these gold. We can then braid them into your fur. Make a fun trophy.
Yeah, all right. We'll go ahead and use some of her paints to paint the ostrich feathers gold.
And,
Leave 'em out.
this probably isn't the first time you've painted feathers and braided them into hair, so yeah, I'm not going to make you roll on it.
Yeah, and when they're done, we're going to decorate Xena with feathers.
Do you want
Braided
some
her hair.
too? Okay, I'll just make it into my mane. So she has gloriously golden feathers now.
It is brilliant and beautiful, and when you spin around, they kind of float out into the air, and it's amazing.
gonna
It
be
just
awesome.
catches light in all the right ways.
When you do your little spinny attack thing, that's gonna be amazing.
That'd be awesome. This is glorious. Thank you. I need to clean up though. The rest of my makeup is an utter mess. I'll just wait for the morning. Actually, we going to bed?
I'm pretty tired. I'm more gonna go to bed.
Hey, you should.
It's
you
about
look
that time.
like you need some rest. Yeah. Yep. Watches. The rest of us watches.
I can take first watch.
I can still take a watch and get the long rest, right?
Yes. Yeah. So for a long rest, it's long rest is 8 hours, but you only have to sleep for 6 of that. The other 2 is non-strenuous activity, so like taking watch and stuff like that.
I can take the last watch. I have less of a disadvantage.
I'll take
I
second or
mean,
third. It doesn't matter to
That
me.
works.
I'll take third.
Okay, so it sounds like Xerix is up first, and as the rest of you bed down in the well-built shelter that you have, what are you relying on for your watch, Xerix?
I would like to rely on my favorite stat, which is survival.
Good
I'm-
call.
Probably dogpiling on top of Zara right now.
Wow, that's a nat 20 for a total of 26.
Ooh.
Very nice. Now see if you can get that percentile to match.
Oh god, no. 36.
26 and 36, okay. And they kind of balance each other out there. So you are making your rounds around the camp. And about halfway through your watch, you notice something off in the distance. It's just a glint, a shimmer at first. But as you stop and focus your attention on it, you see what you're positive looks like a little oasis in the distance.
I am so done with this oasis.
And there is a figure standing in the middle of the pool in this oasis.
I feel like the DM really wants something to happen with this oasis. The number of times it pops up.
How long into my watch is this?
It's about an hour into your watch, so halfway through.
I'm going to... Oh, God. There's something that goes against my better judgment here. I'm going to wait and keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Until the end of my watch.
Okay.
And how far away is it, you said?
It's about 140 feet away.
Okay. So not terribly far, honestly. All right. Yeah. I'm just going to keep an eye on until the end of my watch.
Okay. The figure in the pool of the oasis, just like the last few times you saw them, appears to be bathing themselves, and the oasis and this figure remain there for the duration of your watch as you stare at them.
Okay. Now who was I waking up? Xena? I feel like Xena was on the list to be woken up.
I think Zara was
Zara.
second watch.
Zara.
And I kind of tap Zara awake while keeping an eye on the oasis.
Is there a
It's
reason
your
why you're
turn.
kicking me?
I'm trying to keep an eye on something that I want to go have a closer look at.
It's not that
It's-
oasis again, is it?
It is.
I stand
And I'm
up.
not taking my eyes off this
I
as I'm
stand up
talking.
and like I follow Xerix's eyesight to see if I can see the oasis.
Yeah, you see the oasis off in the distance with a figure standing in the center of it.
See, I'm not crazy.
Maybe not. But it keeps appearing for you, right?
Indeed.
Wait here, I will have.
Okay.
And with that, I'm gonna wild shape into the giant spider,
Okay.
and begin to walk up towards the oasis.
Okay. So as you are approaching the oasis, the closer you get to it, the less clear it becomes. And when you reach about 40 feet away from it, it seems to just fade away completely and is no longer there.
All of my spider eyes narrow, and I go back to the camp. Once I get next to Xerix, I'm gonna break wild shape. Did it vanish for him as well, or is it?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, Xerix, you saw as your spider friend approached it, the image of this oasis began to fade slowly until it was just completely gone.
I think it only wants you.
Well, that's unsettling.
Well, it's been following us since we got out here. Meaning, maybe it's a good thing. But then again, knowing this desert, it's most definitely a bad thing. So, make sure one of us is up the next time it appears, and at least somebody will be awake if it decides to consume you.
It's unfortunate, but all right.
Okay, so are you going to begin your sleep for the night, Xerix, while Zara takes her watch?
I am.
Okay, give me those rolls, Zara. Let me know what you're relying on.
I'm gonna do handy dandy survival as well because it is my best skill.
Okay.
Dice tonight. That'll be a 13.
13.
Oh, well, and then a 28.
13 and 28.
Oh, yeah. Not my best rolls.
I'm waiting for the day one of us rolls a percentile above 50.
That'll be fun. Okay.
One
So,
day.
while Zara is taking her watch, Iza, you open your eyes to find yourself once again in that room of emptiness, darkness above, below, and around you. Completely vacant of all things, as it was when you were here and presented with a choice. You are aware enough to know that you're dreaming. You aren't dead, you're just dreaming. But it feels the same as it did before. Like, you may be in a dream right now, but something about this feels real. And as you're standing there looking around, kind of half expecting doors to present themselves again, you hear the sound of something heavy, something metal being dragged across stone, like nails on a chalkboard. And with it are heavy clawed footsteps and the occasional rattle of chain. And the sound seems to be coming from all directions, growing in volume until it stops. And all you hear is the sound of heavy breath right over your shoulder. You glance back and there doesn't seem to be anything there, but the sound is there regardless. And then a voice calls out to you. You thought I would let her take you from me. And that's where we're going to stop for today. So we will pick up with that next week. That will do it for No Way Out for this week. Thank you,
Jesus.
everybody, for tuning in.
I totally was looking forward to being in the middle of two demon gods playing tug of war.
Oh no.
Demon lords.
Sounds like fun, doesn't it? I think
Totally
so.
does.
Sounds like another Gnoll that was having their soul like fought over between two specific demon lords.
It's a good time, believe you me.
I doubt that.
So we do have another show tomorrow, starting at 7:30 p.m. Pacific. That will be episode 5.
5 or 6, one of those.
5 or 6.
Number.
Episode, yes.
Episode number.
Episode, yes.
Yeah, really.
Episode we can't count.
I'm sorry, we should probably say the name of that show as well.
Into the
Into
Wildlands.
the Wildlands.
Into the Wildlands. And we will be having another Dicember giveaway on that show.
I can't be there
Shadow
tomorrow.
Fox,
I
tomorrow's
want
dice are beautiful.
Oh,
I have 2 sets, no 3 sets of the dice that we're giving away tomorrow.
Ooh, do we get a sneak peek at the dice that are coming tomorrow?
Nope, we sure
Aw.
don't. You're just gonna have to tune in to find out.
I mean, I do because I have all the dice images on my computer.
But yeah, so that's tomorrow, and then we have the Pathfinder game is on hold right now, right? Or is it still going?
I'm not sure. Azern, are you in chat? Do you know?
While we wait to see if Azern's in chat, we do normally have a Pathfinder 2 game on alternating Saturdays.
He says it's not on hold.
Not on hold. Okay, so we will be having our regular Pathfinder 2 game starting at 12 p.m. Pacific this Saturday. And also episode 2 of our Christmas mini adventure that Rojan Quest has found himself.
Never again are you all allowed to be kobolds.
This was your idea.
I know.
Your
Trying
idea.
to wrangle 8 kobolds, and it is just amazing.
It wasn't
There's really
even his
no other
idea.
word to describe it.
It was his demand. So he did this to himself.
You definitely got to tune in for that because it's a great time, and we will be giving away more goodies, including the dice bags that we showed off earlier. And that starts at 7:30 p.m. Pacific.
And if you missed last week's episode, it's on YouTube. I saw it.
It
go
is
up.
on YouTube. We do have a thing.
Highly
for that,
recommend.
a command.
The shenanigans were all over the
Good
place.
thing Rojan put it in because I misspelled that horribly. Yeah, and there you can find the schedule for all our regular shows. Oh, good. I was smart and did swap out the Monday and Tuesdays because normally on Mondays we have our Mass Effect 5e adventure DM'd by Zorro, and normally on Tuesdays we have Destiny Forge, but those are on hold for the time being. We will let you know as we approach the time in which they will come back. But otherwise, that is going to do it for us today. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in.